The birds of a feather, your boy Jake, PY Chucks, the kid Pete already, sports lord. So hey, we are here. Dallas has turned it over again.
Let's
Don't know how we didn't make
go.
it Saturday, but listen, we are here. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Dallas game on Christmas Eve. We're going to talk about the game on New Year's Day. Will we win the NFC East if Tennessee can pull off a miracle? Miracle in Tennessee. Let's see. Let's go.
Oh my God!
Embarrassed!
He's flying!
Oh, come in. It's almost time.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, this is Birds of a Feather on A2D Radio, brought to you by Baggio's Bread, located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, home of the best stuffed breads, tomato pie sandwiches, cutlets, and meatballs. Mention A2D Radio for 10% off your in-store purchase. We are live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and wherever you download your podcast. So if you're listening to us right now live or on your commute, or if you're in your car, headed to Baggio's Bread. We greatly appreciate the support. Right off the bat, it's a full house right off the bat. Your boy Chucks is back. Of course, Mr. OJ Pete with the intro at the top. And next to him, early and on time, Mr. Nate Money. What's good, brother?
We on the rise. We on top. Horse and carriage. My
Mason
fire.
By the sound, I didn't know where you was going with it.
Someone's been drinking.
Almost forgot the second part of the verse. the chorus.
And then we've got, of course,
Shiny
on the
suits.
bottom row, Mr. Pete Young and Jake Frio. What's going on, guys? How are you?
Trying to behave.
Trying to
Josh Dobbs looks like Ryan Shazier's little brother. I just want to throw that out there.
Oh God, yeah.
gotta probably be-
Ryan Shazier, Charlie Villanueva.
Hey, Pete, all black people don't look alike now. Come on now.
Well, those three
Right.
do.
Come on now, Peter.
Those three do.
Brought to you by Cosmigos, by the way.
Oh, he drinking the dark one too. Oh, bitch.
We got one of my former coworkers. We got him a whole bottle of Casamigos earlier in the year for him being there super long.
Is that your drink all the time, Nate?
One of my go-to for tequilas. Oh, I got this baby though. Oh.
Does your wife? When you drink the Casamigos dark, does your wife look at you funny in the morning?
Yeah.
Whoo!
Yeah.
You feel like you're in the multiverse when you drink that shit, boy.
Well, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, multiverse of fun on tonight's show, guys. We have got action-packed discussions. I'm looking forward to it. In the first quarter of the show, we are going to talk about kind of like the pulse and the temperature in the room when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles after the loss on Christmas Eve. Are they in trouble? Or a lot of people seem to think they're in trouble. So we're going to talk about it. Are people overreacting, or is this a legitimate concern for the Eagles? We'll talk about that in the first quarter. Second quarter, we will preview the Saints game and talk about Jalen Hurts and whether we need him in this game or not. And we'll also talk about predictions on the upcoming matchup with the Saints. Third quarter, we'll take another look at the grand scheme of the NFL and the NFL playoff picture. Another week closer to the end of the regular season. How does the playoff picture look now? And what do we think about the teams that are on the bubble, looking in and looking out, and are in the hunt for that playoff spot? And then to finish it off, of course, we've got no huddle. We'll go quick fire with topics wherever we want to talk about. But the first quarter of the show, which is brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy LLC, making yours, our Doc Paul Vidal. Hit him up at, I lost the contact info. Sorry. Hit him up at specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Our poll question, guys, for the first quarter. People are overreacting about the Eagles' dwindling Super Bowl chances after the loss to the Dallas Cowboys. Our poll question is brought to you by All Campus, home of our home of HUDD's rant booth. So, guys, what do you think? I'm going to go. Let's start this because I'm going to give Nate his flowers. I'm going to reward him for being earlier than he usually is. So, Nate, why don't you kick us off here? Are people overreacting when they say the Eagles are in trouble right now in terms of their playoff chances and moving forward and getting to the Super Bowl?
No, I don't think so. I'm on that same kind of boat. I'm not all the way down the stream panicking, but I went from no panic, 0, we're in the negative, right, in the panic meter, you know what I mean, to now I'm like at a 6, 7. So I think that's a pretty reason to be concerned. I think we had talked about it in the chat. The record without Lane Johnson is glaring. I think it's like, what was it? I think I saw it was like 12 or 13 and 22. Like, that's insane. That, you know what I mean? And then when you kind of compound that with the other injuries, so we know Lane's out. At best, he might be 70%, 75%. Like, it's a torn ab. I mean, he's 20 pounds and he's got a 6-pack. So everything about him is core. Right, like he's got a strong core, and for a lineman, especially an offensive lineman, could you imagine just getting in your stances, walking around probably hurts. So kudos to him for toughing it out. But he ain't going to be the same Lane Johnson. I'll tell you that right now. There's one. 2, what's up with Maddox? It's just like he just hurt his big toe, and that's all we got. Right? It's just like, oh, his toe hurts. He's out indefinitely. No if fracture, no if it's broken, sprain, ligament torn. We have nothing to even go off on that. But we just know he's out. So that tells me he's out and might miss the playoffs. For me, at least. That's what tells me that. So you got that. So there's 2 of your starters. And then you have your quarterback. Now, there was a report that I think I saw from the eye. It doesn't look like he lost zip on the ball. He's throwing the ball around. He took all the first team reps. It's still an injury to his throwing shoulder, right? So that is 3 huge pieces to this team that got this team, and all of them had a huge part in getting this team to 13-2. So, yes, I don't think it's an overreaction. Not the fact that the Cowboys beat us, but when we look down the line of what this team's going to look like, you look at the teams who are healthy, you look at the teams that are playing well at this moment. And right now, we got hit with that injury bug at the absolute worst moment that we could get hit. Could be a blessing in disguise if we get the win, right? And then we get the rest up for those other guys. But, man, like, those injuries are tough. Lane Johnson should not be playing. He should be out. Maddox, as far as we know, is out. And who knows where Hurts is. I don't care what anybody says about he heals faster. Whatever the case is, he still has an injury to his throwing arm that has to affect him in some way, somehow. Got to see it. Definitely got to see it. But I completely agree to the poll. I don't think it's an overreaction at all. And
so you disagree to the poll?
Oh, I'm sorry. Disagree to the poll. I'm sorry. Disagree to the poll. Sorry, it's that yak.
That's the Migos talk. That's the Migos talk.
No, I disagree to the poll. I think it's perfectly fine that people are starting to get that kind of overreaction, because this is what we talked about. Like when I was on my rant about them going undefeated, or about even I think Pete said about Hurts winning the MVP. There's always something. We can't have nothing nice, right? There's always something that has to screw up the train at the end here, and this is where we are, and this is what it is. This is what we're seeing right now, because I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think this Saints game, we cannot overlook this game, and we'll get into it later. But that's a must-win game for me. We don't want to go against Washington in a must-win game against Washington.
Yep. Well, you mean New York?
Oh, I'm sorry, John. I apologize, John.
Okay. Jake.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, no, I'm not worried. I'm gonna agree. I'm not worried. I mean,
I know it was all fun and games with Nick Sirianni having he heals faster than you, he runs faster than you, talking like he's a superhero in Jalen Hurts. I mean, will he play this week?
He was
I
trying
don't
to
know.
say, Jake, I don't mean to cut you off. He was just saying he's a black man. He's just a black man. Make sure you hit that time and run that back, and Tom, you run that on the IG. Right? You run that because he's a black man. That's why. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
No,
We're the only show that can get away with that, by the way. So another reason why you got to watch Birds of a Feather.
True.
Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the bigger issue right now, obviously, Jalen Hurts is going to come back in the postseason. I think he's going to play this week. I think we talked about it earlier. We both think Jalen Hurts is going to return this week, but we'll see. Because I also said earlier in our group chat that it could just be like a smokescreen, like, oh, he practiced. Nope. Still going to be precautionary. Minshew's going to play. Then that'll be a whole other conversation. I'm still confident in Minshew that he can beat the Saints. But I think the bigger issue right now is going to be Lane Johnson with the abductor. Who knows how good he's going to be? Like Nate said, when he comes back, he's not going to be 100%, obviously. And yeah, like, seriously, what is going on with Avonte Maddox? Like, what we get it's a toe, but like, what is it?
Yeah,
is it a fracture? Is it like is it a toe broken? Is it like a turf toe kind of thing, or
it's toe surgery?
Yeah, I would think.
I think he does. I think he needs to. Yeah. I think he's done. Yeah, I
think he's done for the year. I definitely think he's done for the year. But I think with everything kind of being what it is right now, we have the Saints coming up, who is tremendously injured, by the way. The Saints offensively are just riddled with injuries offensively. And Alvin Kamara might not play. I mean, if Alvin Kamara doesn't play, Chris Olave's probably out because he has a hamstring. You have Jarvis Landry out. Offensively, they don't scare me at all. But to the poll, I'm not worried at all as far as our Super Bowl chances.
Mr. Young.
I don't understand why people are worried. Like, Nate's thing is completely different to the poll, in my opinion, because like Nate is worried about like serious things, like injuries. Like that's a real thing to be concerned about, obviously. But I'm not worried about anything because of the Cowboys game. We lost by 6 points with our backup quarterback. We gave the ball up 4 times. We only lost by 6. They needed 40 points to beat our backup quarterback. Like I'm not sweating things. AJ Ball, Avonte Ball. I think I'm not even gonna kill Miles because of that fumble. Like, I'm more mad at Boston Scott's fumble than I am at Miles. Miles has 1,000 yards and 10+ touchdowns. He's good in my book. He's Gucci. Like, all the things that people are freaking out about. They're like, oh, what about Jalen? What if he plays? I'm just like, if he plays this week, awesome. If not, I'm good for another week with Minshew. Right? He is what he is. Like, he could probably win. He can win one more game. Like, that's where I'm at with him. But I'm seeing people freak out about everything, and it's just kind of funny because I just don't think they understand how to handle things. Things have been going well for so long in Philadelphia, like right for this season, to where they're like, the first sign of bad news, like, oh my God, the world's going to an end. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, breathe, take a breath. If I had my inhaler in front of me, I tell you to take a puff. Like,
I can't.
Puff pass.
Yeah, no, they need it. Look, I'll puff. They need to fucking pass.
That's the touch, baby. Oh my God! All right, Mr. Evans, OG, what's good?
You want to save me for last, or you want to go first?
I want to save me for last. Go.
You always do. You're so selfish. So
you want me to go first then?
No, I'll go. Because I'll forget because we may hit on some of the same points. Listen, it was a third row game in a row. It's different, and I understand Nate's concerns. I understand a lot of the fan base's concerns. First and foremost, we didn't lose Saturday because of the QB play at all. You lost because of the turnovers. I mean, the 2 losses we have. Each game we've had 4 turnovers.
And the turnovers weren't on the QB, by the way.
Right.
So
and they weren't on the QB. The first Quez interception, maybe that could have been a better thrown ball. He was fading off. And Nate can attest to this. We played on pretty much the same level. Is when you come in mid-game, it's different. You can see as soon as Lane went out, Parsons feasted on Driscoll. Our coaching staff, I think, if given time, will be able. You can't replace Lane, and the record reflects that since he's been in the league. It is like 10 plus games under 500 without Lane, and it's almost 20 plus over 500 with Lane because he's a Hall of Famer in my opinion.
And how many games has Lane gone without giving up a sack?
It's been 2 years.
That's
2 years almost. The Maddox one hurts. Right. The Maddox one hurts, but I think Scott can fill in. His communication has to be better. I think even with the injuries being said as it is, if they win Sunday and they need to win Sunday, once you have the number 1 seed locked up, then the coaching staff can go into the lab and figure out how can we get our guys ready. Because it's different. We saw it with Halapuli Lativati in 2017 when JP went down. He came in mid-game, he looked trash, but then the rest of the year, he was pretty stable. In the Super Bowl, he was more than adequate, and we were partying down broad 7 days later, so 5 days later, what have you. I'm not saying it could be the same exact thing, but I can see something similar. And this coaching staff, especially Statland, who was here at that time, knows how to get guys ready. I think what kind of ticks me off a little bit more is Dillard's refusal to play right tackle. You have a first-round pick. A top half first-round pick who's a backup, who you can't fucking play at right tackle. So you have to go to whatever pick Driscoll was.
He refused to play right tackle.
Like I don't know. They can't put him at right tackle because he sucks.
Dillard can't. Dillard is not that he can't, but like he hasn't gotten enough what do you call practice reps to learn that side.
All his practice reps has all been at left tackle.
Left tackle, yeah.
Left tackle.
But now I get that part. I was just asking, did he really refuse to play right tackle?
Right. To echo my point, if they get when they get the number 1 seed, and listen, I'm a Tennessee Titans fan for the next hour.
Yep.
Because if the Titans win that game,
it's 10-6.
The East is over. We clinched the East. And there's no cakewalk that Minnesota's going to beat Green Bay. Green Bay has a lot to play for right now.
Green Bay is playing better. Yep.
And if Green Bay wins and you lock up the number, however you lock up the number 1 seed, that'll give you 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks before you got to play again. Mm-hmm. I'm fucking Dillard's at right tackle. I have to see it. Because don't get me wrong, Driscoll is good, but there's a reason why Dillard was a first-round pick. Yeah. Even if you have to during that time frame, that 3 weeks. Move my lot of the right tackle if he can get it to see if you have any other option. You see what I'm saying? Get Chauncey Gardner-Johnson ready. I'm not concerned based off what I saw from Saturday's game. And also, I'm not concerned. Oh, yeah. I'm not concerned.
Damn, that's not good.
What we have to go against in the conference. San Fran started to figure it out. But Brock, listen, get real close. Brock Purdy, Tom State, that's 1842. Brock Purdy, this bitch ain't played nobody. I'm just gonna say that. He ain't played nobody. And he ain't played nobody on the road. Don't give me that. Don't give me Seattle 2 Thursdays ago. That's Seattle. They was floundering anyway. In the postseason, coming here in the cold, in this stadium at the link, you get the number 1 seed. I'm not concerned. Okay? I am not concerned. Now, does this mean I'm not concerned if the poll question is getting to the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl? That's a different story.
Yeah, I understand.
That's a whole street NFC, the NFC conference, bitch. That's Street Fighter. Yep. Super Bowl is Street Fighter 2, bitch. That's when Sagai and Bison came into the picture.
A regular version? Or are we talking like super version?
No, we're talking the regular version because remember Street Fighter 1. People don't remember that wasn't on Bison in there. I forget who the final boss was. Wasn't on Bison. No, Street Fighter 2, final boss is Bison. That's the AFC. Because you got 3 teams legit that can win that. You got Bengals, Buffalo, and Kansas City. So any one of those 3 teams, with what we have right now, and like Nate said, a less than 100% Jalen Hurts, that is concerned. I still think as currently constructed, if we play our game and we execute on the back end, because that's a lot of what CD had was a lot of miscommunication, but that shit happened once again mid-game when Maddox went down and Josiah Scott came in. When Josiah Scott came in, I'm not concerned from that standpoint if this team has time to prep. Now, by some way, some miracle, they lose the next 2 games and they lose the number 1 seed, then they can be one and done.
Yep. Yeah. No,
Then you can be one and done, because at that fact you don't have the time. You're not granted that. But it's crazy to see that we're in this position. Like, we could all sit here and say 4 to 5 weeks ago this wasn't a concern at all. We was like when did we get the number 1 seed? The early last week we were talking about arguing if we're going to sit players or not. Remember that? Should they sit? Yeah. Should they sit? Yeah. Should they sit? And now it's like, listen, bitch, all hands on deck. You know what I mean? And the crazy thing is, like we said, with the league being so funny, not only 6, 7, 4 or 5 weeks ago, 3 to 4 weeks ago, were we in a different position. These teams that we were playing against had a different outlook. The Giants were whittling their way down. They got that win on Sunday night. Then they came back and played the Vikings hard. Now they had 8 wins. I think they win Sunday. They clinch a playoff position, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So that means next week, by hook or crook, the Giants can't improve their position. So yeah, they may not play anybody. They may sit. I don't want it to get to that point, but let's just look at the Saints. For how long all year we've been talking about the Saints given us a top 5 pick, a top 10 pick. Now, if they win on Sunday and then they win the last game, I believe they win the NFC South. I mean, it's just crazy how things have worked out to where now these teams have something to play for. So when you encompass that, if you talk about the glass half empty, the pessimistic view of it, you look at now with these teams coming in having something to play for, like Nate said earlier, the worst time for injuries. It's like, shit, is there somebody juju out there? You feel what I'm saying? That is making this little snowball go down this hill to turn into a big ass mountain. And when can we get it off? When can we get off? When can we fight the adversity? Because there was no adversity, right? For what, 12 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
12 weeks. There was no adversity. We was on cruise control. And now it's like you getting hit with haymaker after haymaker after haymaker after haymaker. And it's like, can this team withstand that? And how can they bounce back? I'm almost willing to use that word that rhymes with warranty, that last syllable for what we're gonna see on Sunday. But it's the NFL. Crazy shit happens.
No, I'll say it. I'll say it later.
I'm done.
If you're not gonna say it, I'll say it later on. But let's get to the poll question first. Actually, let me get to the chat. So we've got Martian Lynch. He likes the Cam and Mace reference, by the way. Matt Spillane says Dak still can't throw left. Povia, he says definitely agree to the poll. Keep calm and carry on. Remember, Pove is a Cowboys fan, so if he's saying that, yeah, that's something. Marcus from Pro Fan Talk. Make sure you check him out before.
What up, Marcus?
Goes on at 7. He says Lane's injury, it's not an ab, but an adductor, which is worse. David, what's up, guys? He totally agrees to the poll. Mr. Greg Malakovic, who will be on in a little bit to do his 12 Days of Christmas giveaway again. He says, agree to the poll. My thoughts haven't changed, but I do see a lot of the fan base overreacting for sure. But that happens with every loss. Mr. Wing says they tried him, which he's talking about Dillard at right
like
tackle
3 years ago.
Master. He said Driscoll's fine. He just struggles with Michael Parsons, which is everybody does. Every person.
Lane doesn't. I mean, but everybody doesn't.
But yeah, and then so that's it. So my turn. I absolutely agree to the poll. I want to say that first and foremost. When it comes to the past game, I'll be quick with this. Credit to the Cowboys for making the plays, but we beat ourselves more than anything. All right, that's how I see it. Like just like the Washington game, we've talked about it. We beat ourselves, but that performance to me, even more so after I watched the tape, that's just uncharacteristic play that we haven't really seen all year. All right, we've seen it in 2 games, and those 2 games we lost. But all the other games this year, we don't play like that. We don't have miscommunications in the second and third levels on the back end. We don't commit 4 turnovers in a game. So I'm not going to take away any credit to the Cowboys because when they had the opportunities, they capitalized. So credit to them, but I still think that we are beating ourselves more than anything. So that's that. Now, injuries. All right. So I know it's very worrisome. Lane Johnson's injury is the most worrisome because it's the most serious to a player that is a arguably top 3, top 5 priority on this team. So I completely get the worry. And trust me, I was panicking too. When he went down, like my life flashed before my eyes. I wanted to cry. I wanted to give up Christmas, everything. So I get it. I totally get it.
Humbug.
But he's coming back for the playoffs. He's postponing surgery. I know that he's not going to be 100%. He's going to be in a lot of pain. But an 75, 80% Lane Johnson is still one of the best tackles in the game. All right, even if he's at 70 to 80%, he's still one of the best tackles in the game. So I would rather him being out there in the playoffs, that helps ease some of my worry. All right, and in the meantime, even if he say hypothetically, so say he has to sit for the divisional game, I get that our record hasn't been good without Lane, but this is why I always say numbers lie. Because you have to add context to that. Lane missed a chunk of the 2020 season. And during the 2020 season, if you guys remember, our whole line was decimated every single week with injury. We had a new injury every single week. And our team sucked in 2020. So where we had that, a good chunk of a lot of that record when Lane was out and we piled on losses was in 2020. Also, you have to look at who our backups were to Lane before. We didn't have a backup as good as Drake.
They threw a flag on that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That was terrible.
That's terrible. Anyways, so yeah, like freaking Gallup stopped and then it went over his head.
Well, not even that. He's not even. There's no way he was going to catch it. Way too far ahead of him. There's no way.
Wow.
That's a terrible call.
Driscoll is the best backup we've had behind Lane Johnson. Right? He is. When he's played in there, he's been fine. He's been good. No, I'm not saying I don't want anyone taking it out of proportion. I'm not saying, we completely won't miss Lane, because that's totally not my point. I'm saying if we were okay with Big V at left tackle in Super Bowl year, we'll be okay, more than okay with Driscoll at right tackle.
I don't know about that. I think we got lucky with V.
Well, Big V also had a lot of help on his side, but I have faith in his coaching staff and Stoutland to be able to figure it out for 1 or 2 games, because we're going to play this week, or maybe going to play I think we're going to win this week, but this week and next week, and then Lane's back for the playoffs. So that's really all you're talking about. So I think that people are I get the concern, but they're overreacting to the Lane injury, not looking at the context behind it. But you're expecting Lane to play every playoff game. There's a good chance that he could get hurt again. Okay, if he gets hurt again, you put Driscoll in there. I know that downplays, that's a decrease in talent, but this goes to my next point. All right, Lane's hurt. Hurts probably won't be 100%, but he got hurt in the Bears game, still played and still threw the ball fine. With a few weeks of rest, even if he's not 100%, I have to believe he's going to be 90, 95%. So until I see otherwise, that's what I'm going off of. All right. So what's the other injury? Maddox. We lose Maddox, but we're getting back Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Guys, outside of those injuries, there's a reason why we love this team, right? Well, we were so high on this team. There's a reason why this team had 17 Pro Bowlers. All right. What was it? 8 starters and 9 alternates. this team is still stacked. We still have a great roster outside of those injuries. I don't know why people are forgetting that. And when I say that people are overreacting, I'm talking about I've heard from multiple people, multiple fans, multiple people in the media now saying, "Oh, the Eagles are more likely to be one and done than they are to lose the NFC Championship game. They're going to lose to either the Bucks or the Cowboys. They're no match now for the Niners. They're no match for the Cowboys." Like, that's totally an overreaction because last time I checked, we have still a great roster. We have a great coach. So I get it. The injuries are concerning. But let's not forget how good this whole team is. We still have our receivers. We still have Dallas Goedert, who came back and looked great against the Cowboys. Four of our 5 offensive linemen are still healthy and playing. We still got Miles Sanders, who still, despite the fumble, he still ran for 1,000 yards. On defense, we still got all the other studs. Slay and Bradbury are still playing lights out. Reed Blankenship has been a pleasant surprise. TJ Edwards has still been decent. And who knows, despite Kazir White playing bad this few weeks, maybe that's going to lead to Nakobe Dean getting on the field. Our D-line, led by Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat, they've been feasting. So, are we forgetting how stacked this team is? So when I say, if you are concerned, if all you're saying is you're concerned about injuries and some players being less than 100%, I get it. But if you're saying that the Eagles are now no longer should be the favorites to get to the NFC Championship game or to reach the Super Bowl to represent the NFC, that is a complete overreaction. And people need to stop. We need to stop because we are still that same team and we're getting pieces back for the playoffs. So agree to the poll. I'm so heated hearing all this nonsense about how we're going to be one and done. It's ridiculous how one loss on Christmas Eve completely changes that whole narrative that the media has. So that's what I got to say. I know, Nate, you probably disagree with a ton, but it's I just don't get how you can go from the thing is, oh, Jalen Hurts is not the MVP because the team is so stacked. So one loss to the Cowboys with a couple injuries is now, oh, the team is now going to be one and done. I don't see that. To me, that doesn't add up.
It's the injuries for me. It's not that we lost to the Cowboys. A lot of people had that game us losing to the Cowboys. Us losing on Christmas Eve was not a surprise in Dallas. To me, a lot of people had that circle as a loss. But the injuries into who the injuries were was the big kind of let up because even as good as Kelsey is, the drop off from Kelsey to Jurgens, I don't want to say it's a big gap, but I think that gap is closer than Lane to Driscoll is.
I think it's. I don't think.
I think when I've seen Jurgens play, I don't feel like we've missed a beat. But he hasn't played enough for me to even say that, though. We're talking. We're talking about an all Eagle right now. Allegedly,
talking about top.
Yeah, so I don't want to compare him to that, but from what my eyes are seeing, we haven't really they can still run and do the same thing to do. With Driscoll over there, got to be careful because you're going to start chipping probably. You might put your tight end over there to get a little block there. And then just that half a second where Jalen and his internal clock has to speed up, we're going to see. We're really going to see. Now, we might not see it against the Saints. I mean, they have an average, maybe a little bit above average, defense and defensive line. But once we see some real pass rushers, it's going to be different for sure. It's going to be different, and they're going to put their best pass rusher on that side. And that changes the way you call the game. That changes the way even Hurts does go through his progression. It changes a lot. And there's a reason why the record says that because it changes so much. So to me, it's a huge hole, a huge liability. And then we saw when Maddox goes out, how Scott, we just get burnt. We get toasted. So they need to do something about that slot.
But remember the window where Maddox missed earlier this year? It was an injury. He went out. And
Gardner was there, though, when he was out.
We're getting Gardner back, though.
But you're gonna get Chauncey back. What I'm saying is,
But are you expecting him to pick up right off after he's been out for 6 games, 5 games?
Yeah.
Like, come on, you got to give him at least a couple.
yeah. But see, I'm actually shocked.
Harris.
I'm shocked by what I'm hearing from Nate right now. I've never seen this side of Nate before. It's because I get it when it comes to in game, but when they have time, you have scheme like you talked about.
Yep.
You have scheme that you can work around that. Now, when
Yep.
you get out there, you get hit in the mouth, and you got Nick Bosa, somebody across from you. It's a different story. I get that. I'm more up.
But that's what I'm basing off because we're going to see that.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
but we can plan for it though.
But I'm more perturbed at the fact that they pretty much let Dillard just do whatever the fuck he wants all year, and they haven't prepped for a situation like this. That's where I'm like, okay, I get it. Driscoll's cool and all, but if I'd rather ride with a first round pick, you've had 7 months up until this point to kind of see where he's at and be like, hey, listen, we can work on this. Like, they could be secretly working on this. And then here's the biggest thing is the fact that he didn't even want to. I'm not saying, I don't know if he refused or not, right? I don't know if he refused.
You talking about 2 years ago?
Huh? I'm talking about now.
2 years ago, he was against it.
He was against, okay.
He was.
So
Didn't they
but
play him
now
at
this
guard
year, you're a
this
first round
year?
pick. Say that again?
I said, didn't they play him at guard a little bit at one point this year?
Goal line. For
A little bit, yeah.
Look, but where is his want to? Where is his okay, I need to get on the field. I need to be ready for anything I can be. This team needs me. And he's not even trying to work out at right tackle to kind of see where he's at. You see what I'm saying? So I think the first round, you get the number 1 seed, the divisional round. I mean, you're going to get a road team. Either way, you're going to get somebody playing the first road. You may get a team that's playing their second game in a week on the road. Now, could you deal with the hot team at that point? You could, because you think the NFC, if you win it on Sunday, you clinch the East, you clinch first round. So that means Dallas is going to be the 5 seed, and they're going to play the NFC South division winner, right? If Dallas has to go into Tampa Bay, bitch, all bets is off.
Tampa.
Now,
Can you imagine? I just want to throw that out there. Again, they lose in the first round. It's another year where they disappoint.
Yo,
So
what have I been saying? Until they prove me wrong, there's no reason to give Dallas the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
Yeah. So, but then you got Tampa Bay coming in.
in
What
the
pass rushers on Tampa Bay scare you? Shaq Barrett's out for the season.
Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
So the
You see what I'm saying?
funniest
So
thing about
it's
the Cowboy fans,
everything that Nate has concerns with, I don't think you get that until you get to the NFC Championship game.
yep,
And then all bets is off at that point.
Yeah.
All bets is off at that point. And then you just if you can somehow now let me ask you a question. Do you sit Lane in the divisional round? Depending on the opponent you have?
Depending on the opponent. I mean, I don't
if it's Washington, yes.
This is what I do.
I don't know about Washington. That's the defensive line that I would be scared about because Chase Young is back.
Lane play. I let Lane start, but if it isn't going well, Driscoll is gonna you put Driscoll in. If Lane is in too much pain and he's getting beat left and right, you put Driscoll in, but you let Lane start because he's your starter. He's your Pro Bowler. He's your All Pro. You put him in there until he shows otherwise. We'll continue this in a second, but for the second week in a row, we are interrupted by Mr. Steppy.
What's up, fellas?
Steppy.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you been?
Greg, it's been a while, man.
What's up?
I said it's been a while.
It has been a while, Nate. How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. They traded me on Wednesday. I mean, I'm on the bet. Tom couldn't handle the star. He didn't handle the star on Wednesday, so he moved another star over. He was like, I can't deal with your shit, Nate. You're challenging me too much.
You yelled at me too much. But yeah, real quick, just to follow up on what you guys were talking about, Pete. I think Washington's the last team I sit lean against.
Yeah,
Pete's question with that defensive line, heck no.
I'm good.
Ron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat,
and now Chase is back.
Chase Young is back. Yeah.
He hasn't lived up to the hype yet, though. I mean, he's a good player, but he still hasn't lived up to it yet.
Who,
Chase
Chase?
Young, no.
Because he's been hurt. Yeah, he's been hurt.
And
The
injury
injury set
killed
him
him.
back.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
Like,
But
like you would think he would be where Bosa is, right? That's where I would have him because of his talent level.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
rookie year he showed it. His rookie year he absolutely
Yeah.
showed it, and
He
then he
showed
got
it.
hurt, and then
And even
that's
even
it.
this past week, against quote unquote
Hurts is
Bosa,
hurt.
right? He was pretty stout on his first game back. I don't know what his actual stats were, but the clips I saw of him were, he was, on his pitch count, he was there.
That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
He got first waves.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So once again, we are in here for the 12 days of giveaway. Second to last day today. We are auctioning off, or we're giving away. We're not even auctioning off. Jeez, I wish we should do an auction one time.
We're auctioning off a date with Greg.
Auctioning off a date with me. Hell. That reserve's got to be really high now.
Tell my single ass out.
We are giving away a Trey Turner Phillies jersey.
That's nice.
That's what's up.
In town, we are giving away for the 84-win Phillies. We are giving away a Trey Turner jersey. Only, as always, only stipulation for this is you must be a YouTube member for $9.99 a month. And I know after the new year, look to be oh, come on, catch the ball again.
Mother fudge. I said fudge.
Was that a touchdown?
It was. Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah.
I got to see the replay before I really kill him, but it looked like it hit his
I'm
hands.
behind.
Who was it, Bert?
Because I'm watching
Burks.
Prime Vision, so of course it's Burks.
He's so good.
AJ 2.0, right?
Yeah.
I won't kill him on that.
Shiz, bro.
All right.
Yeah. I'm not going to.
I'm going to kill him on
I
it,
was
but
low.
Try
it would have been nice.
I was low behind.
After the new year, we will be doing more giveaways. One, or at least maybe one or twice a week, is what the rumor is. Robert Woods touchdown. I knew 14 was way too many points.
I'll take the point.
Just for a Thursday night game in general. I don't care who they are. Thursday night games are just wacky.
Yeah.
After the new year, once this giveaway, once the 12 days are over, we will be continuing the giveaways, giving away spots on different shows, jerseys, tickets, and stuff like that. So stay tuned, and if you're not a member, join up. Ralph, are you ready, brother? There he is.
There
That
he
crowd
is.
was in the background.
Guy in the background. As always, we're going to spin the wheel twice. First one is just to warm up the wheel. Ralphie hit it, brother. This first one does not win.
How long was the spin? How many seconds is the spin, Greg?
Like 6-7 seconds.
Just like the Cowboys in the playoffs.
Ooh, Russ.
Yeah.
Sorry, Russ.
Russ, sorry, brother. All right, here we go. Ralph, spin it for a chance or to win. Trey Turner,
Is my
Philly
name on
jersey.
that thing? Because I think I helped start the goddamn membership.
Manny Martinez. Manny Martinez, jump into either station DMs, A2D Radio's DMs, or my DMs directly, and we'll coordinate with you to get this jersey out to you. And Nate, you're not eligible to win, brother.
I'm gonna say we're not eligible.
You're part of it.
I helped start it. Goddamn, the advertisement has me on it. God damn it.
No, but that's all. Manny, definitely go ahead and get in touch with us. We have one more giveaway tomorrow night. We are giving away lower level tickets to the Phillies game next year. We haven't decided what game, just because the schedule still out there. So we'll figure it out. And you're also on top of getting the Phillies game. You're getting a $25 gift card to Baggio's to help with your tailgate set up. Get yourself some stuffed bread, some whatever you want up there. The Baggio's is delicious. As I see, they are your sponsors here for tonight. They are the bomb. Their stuffed pepperoni bread. Oh my God.
The bomb.
I get it every time I'm up there just because it's so delicious.
It's a strong bowl. Listen, if I go to Baggio's and I go in there order, I'm saying, let me get a pepperoni stromboli. They're gonna look at me.
I live in Mount Laurel.
They're gonna kick you right out. It's back in the industrial park, Pete.
Okay. Oh, no, wait. Then I know exactly where it is.
Yeah, actually, I used to work two buildings down for 15 years of my life before they were there. So it was funny. If they were there, I would have been there every day for lunch. It would have been bad.
Am I tripping to live bet the Titans right now?
No.
No.
Should have took the point, sir. What was the did your parlay hit?
So I need Ty to score.
Okay.
Oh,
Which is tough. It was a long shot. He was plus 800. So I had my best bet hit in the first quarter. It was a Congo. So over
the Nigerian dude.
Yo, so I didn't get why Dobbs was so low. Like he's been in the league for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
so
but
I
he's
knew he knew how to play. And then you marry that, they're at home, and then they have no run game with Henry out, and then Dallas secondary is terrible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So in my head, I'm just like, what is a new quarterback going to do? Safety net, running backs and tight ends all day.
Mm-hmm.
He only had 21 and a half yards was his over. He got it in the first quarter.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
so
and he's he's going to be a good tight end too. He's fast as shit.
And then
he's flashed it over the last couple of weeks.
And then Dub's prop, his passing was 165.
Oh wow!
Like what's going on?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't believe my eyes.
I think they probably gave him the Malik Willis treatment, and Malik had thrown over 100 yards, and they're probably like, well, if Malik can't, then Josh Dobbs can't.
Yeah, well, Dobbs is a better passer than Malik. That was the thing.
He is.
I knew that.
He is.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh, okay. So and then I needed something for value, and everybody in their mom bet Zeke to score today. Yeah. Everybody knew Zeke was going to score today. So I looked at that. And I was like, let me give something. Yeah, the bet was the parlay was a 3-team parlay for 22 plus 2,200.
Wow.
So I just need Ty to score. Now he's got looks.
Yeah.
So you got to get
Dak
lucky.
is hurt. Dak is hurt. Dak is hurt.
Don't throw that.
I was too.
He's hurt. Like I just saw him that hand. I'm gonna play behind. You can see him how gimpy he is just handing the ball.
I need to put this.
No.
I need to put this player.
Yo, Pete. I just saw a tweet. Cowboys are really out there getting carved up by Charlie Villanueva.
I told you.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
You got big Ryan Shazier, who is Ryan Shazier. You got medium-sized Ryan Shazier, which is Charlie Villanueva. Then you got skinny Shazier, which is Josh Thompson.
I can't.
Gentlemen, I will leave you. Whoa! Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you all.
Maggie,
Happy New Year, Greg.
Thank you. And again, Manny Martinez, get me in my DMs, brother. All right, boys. We'll talk to you.
Later.
See you, Greg.
Should be a flag on something.
Well, as we were saying, I forget where we left off, but I think we were talking about
Cowboys suck.
I think Pete, you were talking about sitting Lane in the playoffs, or if you start Lane,
if you would,
even against the Washington and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't know. Like I again, when we get to the playoffs, we'll see. But if once we win this Sunday, you start resting guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna feel better, and you start getting this coaching staff a few weeks to prepare.
Oh shit!
Like, I'm gonna give this coaching staff the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. That's why I'm not overreacting to anything, and to anyone saying that the Eagles are going to be one and done in the playoffs. Like, I'm not. Yeah, to me, we're still the team to beat in the NFC. Is it closer now? Yeah, absolutely. But I still put us at the top. I still put the Niners right behind us, and I still put Cowboys after that. 3 teams in the NFC that are there. So that's my input. I don't know if you guys got any other input before we move on to the Saints game, but
this Gannon needs to trust his guys, and they just need to communicate more. They have to communicate better. But like I said, it's a war of attrition. It was the 3rd road game in a row. We knew like this shit can happen. You know what I mean? So
yep,
it's what it is. I mean, it's not like we're sitting here saying, okay, well, they need to win to get in the playoffs. It's like, okay, it's like we have the problems of a first world country problems right now with our NFL team.
Yeah,
it's serious. Like, it's just okay. How high can we be? It sucks that if you don't win and you lose the division, you most likely lose the number one overall spot. So you go from being a number one overall seed to a fifth seed. But then at that point, I think we may set a record for the wild card round as the biggest road dog, biggest road favorites playing a playoff game against the NFC.
It's not gonna get to that. We're gonna be the one seed. I want to get to this comment because it does lead into something else from the game. What's up, fellas? Jake says, I hope Gannon is watching how Dak is trash versus man-to-man defense versus Titans. I know we talked about it, and like there was that stat. It showed how the Cowboys were like 24 when we played zone, and then like what was it, like 4 of 9 or something when we played man.
Something like that, yeah.
After watching the tape, like I again, evidence number 2, I provide to the court as to why stats lie and you need context is because a lot of the zone that we play is zone match, which has man principles. So you're playing zone match. A lot of it is man-to-man too. So are you counting that towards zone? Yeah, those stats are probably counting that towards zone. We got beat in man. The one touchdown was in man coverage. Man coverage, like Bradbury was in man coverage.
You talking about the one to tie it or the one to go ahead?
I don't know which one it was. It was the one to
the second CD one.
I believe so. We hit the out route.
That was the stick post, but that's where CD he put Bradbury in a blender and spit and chewed that bitch up and spit him out.
Yep,
that's the one he was tucking his chain in, and then you could see Bradbury sit to commit the leverage because CD was going inside, and he just kept going out, and he was just dead to rights.
But that's man to man. So I mean, like, and I'm not trashing Bradbury because outside of that, Bradbury played awesome. I'm just saying, like, man to man, for all the people screaming for us to play so much man coverage, like we did, especially in the second half, and we still got beat. So
it was it was just execution, bro. And then
execution to clear up, execution that we've been on point with all season.
Mm-hmm.
It's uncharacteristic mistakes that showed up against the Cowboys. So
and if you want to keep it 100, it's like you look at the week before against the Bears, they got away with it. It was an inferior team. They had the turnovers, and the Bears just didn't have the talent to be able to capitalize on that. Whereas this week, I mean, let's give Dallas their due. They're a talented team. The one thing, and I heard this even from Cosell, even for Chris Sims, is like, Gannon, sometimes you have so much talent on the back end, you don't disguise what you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. And for Dak, I mean, right, wrong, or different. If he know, you can see it with Jalen. If Jalen knows if a quarterback knows what you're in, and they know they can kind of get a read, you're not trying to disguise anything. Just makes it a little easier. That's where it's just like, all right, Gannon, don't get too vanilla. You can't get too vanilla. I don't know if he was trying to hold something for the playoffs or what have you, but we got to get there first. And I think that's the one biggest thing. Like, we knew what this game meant, and to have those fundamental lacks of communication on the back end from veteran players. Obviously, we're talking about the 30-30. That's on Josiah Scott. I mean, you just got to get back. You just got to get back. And he's a younger player, but
that's on Gannon too. It's both, to me. It's on Gannon and Scott.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? It's just I said it in the first quarter. I said our running backs and linebackers are going to be tested. Tested a lot today with the running backs and tight ends from Dallas, and they were tested a lot because that middle of the field felt like it was fucking wide open every time.
Yeah,
every time.
The problem with man-to-man too is you run man-to-man, like you said, our linebackers are in man-to-man against a tight end and running back.
Yeah,
like, TJ Edwards can't play man-to-man. TJ Edwards is good, but one of his strong suits is not man-to-man. That's like he's not. You don't want him like in that type of coverage. Like ideally, you don't want that. And Ryan Soap says here, even before Saturday's 3rd and 30, the Eagles' pass defense on third down has been horrific, and allowing opposing teams to get first downs. They're good prior to third down, But once that comes, they've allowed teams to continue drives or march down the field. I mean, I think there is truth to that. I think that's something that does have to be worked on. And I think that is one of the weaknesses of Gannon with this scheme is like I've been complimentary of Gannon, but one of the things that does bug me is I wish he was more aggressive in his zone matches and his zone schemes to where things were a little bit tighter. You know what I mean? Like, be a little bit more aggressive. Let them attack downhill and drive more than what he's showing. I think if he did that, he would be an even better defensive coordinator than he is. Right now, that's one of the things. So, yeah, what's
I'm assuming something happened that Pete did not like.
I don't know. I'm behind, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm behind too.
Yeah. Anything else before we switch it over to the second quarter, gentlemen?
No, sir.
Negative.
All right, let's get to the Saints game. But before we do, Mr. Pete Evans, can you tell us who it's brought to us by?
It's brought to you by Alan Foy. Looking to buy or sell a home, looking for a change of career or brokerage? Contact Alan Foy of eXp Realty LLC at 302-682-8820 or visit him at alan.foy via email at exprealty.com.
So Jalen Hurts practice limited today. He got first team reps, but didn't take part in all the drills. His first time practicing this week. It comes down to tomorrow. If he practices fully, then chances of him.
Wow. Time out. I just saw the roughing the passer call. Jesus Christ. The fix is in, bro.
They have 114 penalty yards on 8 penalties.
The play.
2 penalties for 20 yards. What the fudgety fudge words I'm not allowed to say?
That hit that got that flag on. If you guys can see it, there was a hit on Dobbs. I want to say at the end of the first half where Micah actually picked him up off the ground and carried him back 2 yards and then just let him drop and no flag, but that's a flag.
That's crazy too because this is in Tennessee too, right? It's a home game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's in Tennessee in a home game, but there's some stages you could do that, and when it's Dallas gonna get them calls.
Well,
they're in Dallas.
I don't know. Let's go TY.
You may get it there in the red zone now.
Let's go TY.
Oh my God. Anyways, it'll be up to practice tomorrow to see if Hurts will play. If he practices fully, he probably will play. If he doesn't practice full, he probably doesn't play. But we asked the question. We wanted to talk about this and debate about it, so let's do it. Do we need Jalen Hurts to beat the Saints?
No.
Put it up.
No.
Yes, absolutely.
No, the Saints are hot garbage.
Okay.
So, Nate, you think that if Gardner Minshew plays, we lose?
I didn't say that. I said you need Jalen Hurts, though.
Yeah.
If Gardner plays the same way he did Saturday without the turnovers, is that good enough to win in your mind?
Without the turnovers. He had a great game without the turnovers, of course. Right.
But 2 of the turnovers weren't even on him.
Yeah.
It's on Quay Watkins.
I'd say 3 of the turnovers were on him.
The last Watkins one was bad. Like, you just got to tell
us. Throwing to Quez over the middle.
He still had some bad turnovers. Like he just threw it to the other team. I don't know what.
Quez Watkins is one of the dumbest players I've ever seen.
Right, and then like Jason Avonte was saying, he's like, AJ had 8 targets, Avonte had 12. That's all well and good. Why? That's where a backup QB sometimes just doesn't have the chemistry with the alpha wide receiver because those balls should be going to AJ. That's the problem. I mean,
too many balls to Quez. And
yes,
Goddard had 3 targets.
And 3 targets, 3 catches, I think.
Yeah. Oh, and I need to say this. I need to say this. While we're on that topic, in the chat, in the ATD chat, I don't know if you remember when we were giving score predictions, guys. Do you remember what I said with my score prediction? I said that Minshew will hit Dallas Goedert for the game-winning touchdown with less than 2 minutes left.
He had him too.
I said it. On 3rd and 10, he had Goddard wide open on a crossing route when he broke the pocket early. When I saw that on film, I wanted to cry. I wanted to absolutely cry. I was like, he had it. I was going to be a prophet.
Wow.
Oh my God. Like, I'm not, don't get it twisted. I'm not putting blame on Gardner Minshew because he did play well. And like on my list of things to blame for why we lost, he's nowhere close to the top. So I'm not blaming Minshew. But what hurts is well, no pun intended. What hurts about it is that 2 plays stand out, 2 misses by Minshew. Beginning of the game on that opening drive after we get into the red zone, the 3rd down, he has Avonte Smith on that comeback. Okay, he misses Avonte Smith. He absolutely has a window. So that one, beginning of the game, you score a touchdown instead of getting a field goal. That makes a big difference. And then the play that I just talked about, the miss on 3rd and 10 to Goddard late in the game. Those 2 hurt really bad. So seeing them on film, I'm like, damn, we had it. You hit one of those plays, it's a different ball game. But other than that, I think Minshew played fine. If we clean up turnovers, I don't see how you can say if you're saying we need Jalen Hurts to play against this Sunday, then you're saying that we don't win if we don't have Jalen Hurts.
I don't think I agree with that statement. I think it'll be a lot tougher and the game will be a lot tighter. I'm not saying that Minshew can't lead us to a win against the Saints, but I'm saying, do you need Jalen Hurts to guarantee yourself a win? Absolutely.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? You're asking, we're in a must-win game situation. Do you need Jalen Hurts? Yes, I need my starting MVP quarterback.
Okay, you have to add the last part of that sentence. It makes it different. Do you need Jalen Hurts to guarantee a win? Yes. Do you need Jalen Hurts, period, in order to win? Or do you need Jalen Hurts in order to win at all? To have any chance?
I agree with both.
You can still win. You can still win Minshew.
Well, Minshew gives me doubt. And I don't
I understand that, but you're not going against an offense that's its highest power, and you're at home.
Yeah,
we're at home against a team that's not even close to us on paper, with possibly our starting quarterback coming back, and the game is not even favored by over a touchdown.
It's 6.5. I thought
it's not a touchdown.
Well, no. Technically, a touchdown is 6. Sir.
Yeah, he's right. It is a touchdown.
Oh man, somebody beat me.
Just say, I don't know. The Casamigos, the Migos didn't change you, man. I don't know what's going on.
No, it making me see clear. You saw I wipe my glasses.
You see it, all right.
See what's going on. I'm telling you right now, man.
They're on their 4th wide receiver as a number 1.
I don't know. And I could be completely wrong. I've been so wrong about this team. I talked trash about Hunt. I was wrong. I mean, not Hunt. Sweat. I was wrong. I talked trash about Sanders. Now Sanders. I was wrong. I talked trash about Sirianni. I was wrong. I could be completely wrong about this game. All I'm saying is what my eyes are telling me. My eyes are telling me that this game is not going to be a cakewalk. This game is not, they're just going to the Saints and we're just going to show up. They are playing for something. It's late in the year. Everybody's hurt at this point. We're just getting, hopefully, our MVP quarterback. We lost our right tackle. We don't have our nickel corner, and we're just expected to win this game. To a point, yes. But I have to take the fanboy out of me and look at it from a gambling perspective because the numbers tell me. And in fact, they're a 6.5 favorite.
So 6.5 means they may not cover, but they should win the game. Because
it means that they're a liability because everybody's going to look at that as like, oh, I want a teaser. I'm going to get the
but you get just 3 for the home team, and you get another added 3 on top
for this game, where when Dobbs came in, you took advantage. So I mean, the lines aren't always accurate. I mean, it doesn't always tell you.
I guess my biggest thing is from that, Nate, is what I can tell you.
The lines be on point, dog.
You about how you couldn't believe what you were seeing.
I don't know what voodoo they do that they have, but they got it, bitch.
I don't know what they have in the back room or what brain or what alien that they're getting their information from. These lines be on point, Chuck. I'm trying to tell you. These numbers be on point. I don't know why. I don't know how.
Yeah, that's a good play.
The handicappers be on point, man. But no, in all seriousness, so this is the biggest thing I can tell you, Nate, is I watch probably more Saints than most, and they just can't. The defense is the defense, but it's almost like they're the defense is better than what New York has, but New York's offense, honestly, in all seriousness, this is going to be saying a lot. New York's offense is better than the Saints'
New York.
offense.
But I think
Which New
Kamara
York?
plays. I think
Which New York?
Olave plays.
The Giants.
The Giants, yes. Actually,
New York Giants offense is better than the Saints' offense.
I'd say
they could put up more
both
points.
offenses. I'd say the Jets' offense with Mike White is absolutely better.
Oh yeah. But they just can't. The biggest thing that scares me about this game is because how we got attacked by Dallas and the tight ends is Juwan Johnson, local kid from Glassboro, played wide receiver all throughout college, Penn State, then went to Oregon. This bitch is like 6'6", like 240, 250. Wide receiver who's now converted to tight end. Red zone target mismatch against our linebackers. But also, with that being said, they have to get there. And they're not healthy on the offensive line. Yeah. The defensive line is all right. But Marshawn Lattimore may not play, if I'm not mistaken, because he's
Kamara will not play. Kamara will not play.
He's quite, but that I just read that he's away for something personal. So I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's anything that he shows up.
Lawyers.
He shows up on Saturday night, he can play Sunday. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah.
But even with that being said, I mean, they played in less than ideal conditions last week against the Browns. The score was like 14-13, 14-10 or something like that. Like, I just don't – even with Minshew, I think you can grind out 21 points. And I think that's enough to win the game.
Yeah. The Saints – I can't see the Saints scoring more than 17 points, 14 points maybe. I just can't see it. And I get that the Saints are still have something to play for, but so are the Eagles, and the Eagles are going to be pissed off coming off of that loss.
Yep.
Absolutely pissed off. Like, and don't take it from me. And multiple Eagles players right after the game have said it.
They're pissed off. Remember what happened after the Washington game? They played Green Bay that Sunday night, and then they went on probably the best 3-game stretch that they had.
Yeah, they're pissed off. They know the gravity of this game. The coaches know the gravity of this game. They're going to show out. They're going to show out. Like, I will be very surprised if they don't win by more than at least a touchdown. And I say that only like I see them winning by only a touchdown if it's garbage time and the Saints score garbage time points. I think the meat of this contest, of this game, the Eagles are going to just dominate and handle the Saints. I think it's too much talent on the Eagles have, and we're at home. If we were on the road in New Orleans, there'd be a better case for it to be a close game. I just, the Lions can say,
I just need to win. I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Basically,
just win. Just have more points than them at the end of 4 quarters, even overtime. Just win.
Yeah. I think Minshew will.
Just win, baby.
Nate, I think that Migos is bringing you down, baby.
Oh no! I was reading something else, something crazy. That whole Andrew Tate thing going nuts.
Oh yeah, that whole thing.
I don't know. I was just reading about that. It's just all the allegations and stuff going on. It's just like,
well, who?
Andrew Tate.
Oh, he's a dumb.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of who you talk to. I don't want to get into it on this show, but
yeah, we won't get into it on this show.
Yeah, I got lost reading it. My bad.
For the game right now, the spread, on Caesars, Eagles are -6.5. The money line is -292, and the over/under is at 42. So that's what.
So that tells me it's going to be a tight game, right? That's what it tells me. It's going to be a tighter game than what people might think, or it's going to be a blowout and the Eagles beat them by 30.
I like the second one.
I go with one of the two, but at the end of the day, I still think the Eagles are going to win.
Right. Regardless of who plays QB.
Regardless of who plays
QB, yeah. I would have some concern. Like, if Jalen's playing, I would bet the Eagles straight.
Right.
But if Minshew's playing, I'm like, I'll just watch.
I think like what Tennessee's doing tonight is like I think I may keep Jalen active, but I'm only playing him like in that break this glass in the case of emergency only.
No, you have to play him because if you win, he can't sit for like 4 or 5 weeks and think you're just going to come into home playoff game and he's just going to come on fire.
Yeah, you have to
stay in rhythm. Got to stay in rhythm. He's got to play.
Yeah, you gotta play. If he's
in my opinion, at least he's got to play.
No, I'm with you. He can't be that rusty.
Yeah, like he just. I wouldn't like that. Whether if it's a series, preseason game, whatever, just get him some reps. Let him, go through the motions and get him out of there.
Yeah,
I agree.
They're not giving no whistles to Tennessee at home, bro.
I know.
Nope.
It's like
No.
it's so clearly what's up. But I mean, I won't complain about refs when it comes to the Cowboys because apparently, if you do, you're just being a homer.
That's the whole illegal.
Just a hater.
Just a homer. I guarantee back in January when they first announced like the opponents or they showed the opponents, I guarantee to win against the Saints in January of this year. I ain't going back on it. We are not losing to the Saints.
I don't know how we play these bitches every year. It seems like now.
I don't care because I enjoy every single win. I told you guys, but I don't know if you've heard me say it. For me, my hate list for teams, it's Cowboys. It's Giants. It's the Saints. I don't even hate the Commanders. I hate the Saints as if they were a division rival.
They're
I can't
losers. They're like the ultimate crybabies. They literally tried to their stupid fans tried to go to court over an NFC Championship loss because their dumb quarterback doesn't know how to not throw an interception in overtime.
Who was it? Ingram and Kamara were chirping, saying that if they had beaten the Vikings, they would have definitely beaten us in the championship game.
If my mother had balls, she'd be my father. It's just the dumbest crap ever. It's spoken like a true loser. Like my buddy Joey D used to say. It's just facts, man.
Good drop, Pete. I like that. My mom had balls.
I like how Pete upstairs is more messed up than Nate is in the corner, and I don't know how that happened.
One of my favorite videos that's online for the Saints is from that game. From the one in 2018 against the Rams, where you see all the fans cheering, and then it cuts to the end of the game after they lose, and then they're all depressed. That's one of my favorite videos online.
They're losers. They deserve all the sadness they get. They literally tried to tell me, oh my God, they got Jarvis. I'm like, you haven't watched Jarvis in the last 3 years. Oh my God, they got Honey Badger. You haven't watched him in 2 years. There's a reason Andy Reid let him go.
It's crazy.
Look at they got Chris Olave.
I don't understand.
He may not play either.
The team literally thought they were going to become contenders this year with Jameis Winston, enough to where they traded their pick to us, and then how many weeks into the season they benched Jameis Winston for Andy Dalton?
Yeah. Well, I remember telling people in the offseason. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to say something.
I just remember telling people in the offseason, the Saints aren't that good, and everyone's like, "No, they're good." I'm like, "No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not."
I mean. I don't think they regret the Michael Thomas signing. They probably regretted the Jarvis Landry signing. It was just I don't know why they felt the need to move up for a wide receiver, or maybe they thought Jordan Davis was going to be there. But they completely mismanaged. They mismanaged the cap. They mismanaged everything. This team, that whole organization is in shambles.
Yeah,
they traded. They traded. I could understand if they wanted to get one of those quarterbacks. You traded up to get one of those quarterbacks to win, but you trade up for a wide receiver. I don't care, a wide receiver who's really good, but I don't think anyone would say Olave has superstar potential. I don't know about that.
He's
trade
good,
for
though.
that.
He is really good.
No, he is really good, but
I can see him leading the league in receptions one year because he gets
But
open.
if you're a team like the Lions, to where you're probably not going to be great, and you have enough picks next year to go get the quarterback, I'm all in favor of going out and getting that wide receiver one. But not when you've basically been a pretty solid team.
Not by trading that, what they traded to get, the trade that they made with us. You make that trade for a quarterback, not for a mid first round wide receiver. That's my point.
They're a poorly run organization.
I don't mind you trading up for Olave, but not for the assets that you gave up. That's too much.
God bless them.
And the other thing, real quick, with the Saints that we don't talk about, what Wayne just said, you got to think like there's Chauncey probably definitely wanted to play. He gonna be chirping. That's his ex team. But let's not forget, it's always been some heat with New Orleans and the Eagles for some reason. I don't know why. And I think the sticking point for the Eagles is the fact that after they beat us in the divisional round in 2018-19 season, what song was they playing in the locker room afterwards? They was playing Dreams and Nightmares by me.
Was that the joint where they had the mask on and the disco ball and all that?
Yeah.
And then the next week they lost to the Rams.
Yes.
Yep.
So
they're all talk. That's all they are. Like they like to chirp. They don't like to win.
That might be where the disdain, like recent disdain, came from. But my disdain, my hate grew with them back in 2006 when they beat us in the divisional round.
Oh yeah, they beat your boy Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff and well, Jeff's not my boy anymore. Not after he made those Mina Kimes comments last year, but yeah, like when we were with.
What did he say?
He was pretty much a male chauvinist. He was like, "You're a woman, you don't know football."
Yeah,
that's lame. Come on now, we got better than that.
Yeah, he ain't our baby anymore. He's no longer he ain't our baby. Anyway,
Did he ever apologize?
That was the birth of my hate for the Sand. But oh yeah, Ryan says the Sheldon Brown hit on Reggie Bush began. That was
we lost that game too.
It sucks that it was a loss, but that hit is still.
I hate when people bring stuff up like that. Like, oh my god, that hit was amazing. I said we lost. Why the fuck you bring that shit up?
Crap, crazy. That was still one of the greatest hits I've ever seen. That hit was, and the fact that Reggie Bush got up, but then went back down.
I have a whole video ready for that. I do commentating on that. That shit is pretty. That's pretty funny.
I'm good.
Yeah, I remember when that hit happened. I'm like, oh, we're going to win by like 1,000. It was over. It was like that Tampa Bay Deuce Staley off run. Like, we got this joint in the bag.
Yep.
But we done. He's right. We definitely lost that game.
It was so like the phantom false start. But I remember because we were driving, we had the ball, and then like there was a false start call on one of our linemen. I forget who it was, but it was like the weakest false start that put us behind, and then we failed to convert, and then they got a field goal to win the game. That was it. Like it was so close.
Then you got the 2013 playoff loss and fucking Riley Cooper just can't catch.
Yep. Oh my god. Yeah. 2013 Nick Foles, Chip Kelly, Shady. Yeah. That loss was, and it was funny because like the Darren Sproles ran that kick return back for good field position.
Stupid Kerry Williams.
You would give the position to.
Those are going to be the worst starting duo of corners we've ever had. Kerry Williams and Byron Maxwell.
No, Kerry Williams and Bradley Fletcher.
No, Bradley Fletcher. That's right. Yeah.
Well, there's the three of them, bitch. Like, oh my god.
So the worst. I think it's the worst three people you'll ever have in the secondary: Nate Carroll, Bradley Fletcher, and Kerry Williams.
Oh my god, I can't believe that was our secondary.
But remember Nolan Carroll got caught with the coat in the airport.
Yeah.
And then went back to no, that wasn't Nolan Carroll. That was Patrick Chung. I'm sorry, Patrick Chung got.
Are you sure?
Yep. Yeah, Patrick Chung had got like drug charges and went back to New England after being here, and they won.
Nolan Carroll got caught with something though. There was something with Nolan Carroll.
Yeah, like a 90-yard touchdown on him.
No, I'm talking about like off the field. There was one incident off the field with Nolan Carroll.
Well, Bradley Fletcher, the Sunday night game where all Des Bryant looks over at Romo and says this.
Yeah.
Gives him the thumbs up, bitch. I'm like, I wanted to burn all my ego shit then, bitch.
Did you hear? I know that some people hate him, but Emmanuel Acho he tweeted about that game. I think a few days ago. He was like, we came in with the worst game plan ever. We decided to do one-on-one coverage with Fletcher and Dez, and we got burnt 3 times. Like even Acho was like hated the game plan. Freaking Billy Davis, defensive coordinator. That's another one of the worst
Oh!
defensive coordinators we've ever had.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, frustrating. But
This
that's
game's over.
that. Anything else for the Eagles Saints matchup? You guys want to? Do you want to do like quick prediction scores, or you want to hold off?
I don't know what the under is, but I definitely think it'll be the under.
I just had the under, but
I want to say it's probably like 46, 42. Oh, that's lower than what I thought.
I'm going over. I think the Eagles blow them out, so I'm going over. I'm going over on that. All right, let's get to our third quarter, which is brought to you by Gleason's Bar, located at 6700 Mill Creek Ave in Levittown, PA. Promo code A2D for 10% off your order when you dine in, take out, online, Gleason's Bar and Steaks. Week 16 games. Any reactions that you guys want to talk about, like NFL playoff picks or anything league wide? If you want to preview, so if you're looking forward to one of the upcoming games this upcoming week, we talk about NFL. Mention it.
Yeah, I got some. I think it's pretty wild how the playoffs are rounding out, where you still have the number one seeds not even locked up, right? It's going to come down to the wire.
Mhm.
You know, with not Cincy, well, they're only one game back, really. But you got the Chiefs and Bills who are tied up, even though Buffalo has that head-to-head. You got us who we thought could lock it up, but you know they're still opening for the Vikings to kind of backdoor this thing and kind of catch us, especially if we fumble here at the end. So I think that, and then with so many teams still alive, like really alive, like Detroit's still alive, even though Cincinnati, the Seattle's kind of faltered here a little bit. The whole NFC East right now is in the playoffs. Green Bay's still alive, and believe it or not, Carolina. How big is that Carolina and Tampa Bay game? Jesus.
Oh my God.
Like how big is that game right now? Especially if I'm gonna be a Carolina fan because I got money on Tampa not even making the playoff. So
I want Carolina to make it over the Bucks.
Yeah. And then just the storylines, like Tua with his injuries. They're moving away from Derek Carr, even though the Raiders haven't been mathematically eliminated.
Yo, how about that?
That whole mess.
Yeah,
Holy crap.
Like when you look at the NFL playoff picture, like there's a lot going on. I mean, even Jacksonville, right? Jacksonville's, still has life. Like who gets that 7th seed in the AFC? You know what I mean? Like Tennessee's going to fall right here, so they lost. Pittsburgh has a huge game against Baltimore next week in no Lamar, so that's Pittsburgh's very live in that game.
Patriots could sneak in.
The Patriots could sneak in. You can't count them out.
Oh, I think Baltimore's in. They secured it.
Baltimore's in.
They did. Baltimore secured it. So
Baltimore's in. But who gets that 7th seed? Right? Who gets that 7th? Who gets that 7th seed? Who's going to take a trip to Buffalo or KC? You know what I mean? Who wants to do that? So, and I know neither of those teams want to play the Jets. I'll tell you that. With that pass secondary.
Well, the Miami and New England play each other this week.
Do they
talk about like playoff
with Teddy Bridgewater though?
Yeah, with Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, like Teddy Bridgewater isn't a bad backup.
No, but it's just a lot of crossers. They can't take shots down the field with that speed that they have.
Well, the shots down the field, if you just hit on one, that could be enough. I mean, like this Patriots offense isn't letting it up any either. So
I'm predicting now the Bengals going to be the number 1 seed because if they beat Buffalo, then they have the win head to head, and they both beat Kansas City.
Right? Oh,
Kansas City has 12-3. They're 12-3. So So I'm sorry. So Kansas City would have to drop one.
Yeah, KC's got to lose to Denver or the Raiders. They're not going to lose.
I wonder who's the last game for Kansas City? Is it
the Raiders?
The Chargers?
It's the Raiders.
Or is it the Raiders?
It's the Raiders.
But it's in Vegas, right?
Yes.
I believe so.
Vegas.
They're not going to lose.
I know. After tonight, Dallas they finished with Washington in Washington, and Washington they need to win that to get in.
I mean, Washington's got to win this game. How interesting! Like I said, storylines. How crazy is that Wentz getting another shot of redemption?
Oh, yeah.
Eagles
Right.
versus
all about that.
Washington. Please God, what
And
it happened?
his career is absolutely on the line.
Yeah,
They're giving him the
absolutely.
ball. Get us to the playoffs. Win out.
Mhm.
So I'm glad you brought up Carson because I just saw something on his Instagram story. The man trashed a whole set of Jordan 1s. Retro ones he had custom made.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
His Army of One foundation. The colors, okay, I get that. On the tongue, how self-centered are you that on the tongue it's a family picture on every pair?
I did see that.
Like, don't. There's no humbleness in his body whatsoever at all. Like, you literally took the tongue of your Jordan, and you literally put a family picture on it. Like,
Yeah.
bitch, we know who you are. That's like Tom making a custom pair of A2D Jordan 1s and putting A2D all over the fucking shoe.
God.
But yeah, I mean, I think with the playoff picture, man, there's a lot of interesting games.
A lot of moving variables. Yeah.
Games,
Oh, yeah.
This week.
And it's always crazy, Nate, how you said like 5 weeks ago, none of this shit was any storylines.
Yep.
Mhm.
And it's like this stuff just right, like somehow, just like the handicappers who set the lines, Roger Goodell and them are just sitting back there like, all right, guys, what can we do to make the rest of the end of the season more memorable? What can we do to create these storylines? And then shit just starts happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come. It is going to come to them. I mean, our game has, importance into it. Even Detroit, like these teams need to win.
Yeah.
It's going to be real interesting. Like that Vikings Packers game, that's huge.
That is huge.
It's a huge
I'm
game.
picking the Packers in that game. I
just love it because it's an offensive score fest, and I have Alan Lazard. So I just need
even the Steelers Raven games with no stars playing, no Lamar, no Ben Roethlisberger, nothing. And how I mean, like it's huge. Like, it's so big. You know what I mean? Like Monday night Bills and Bengals. Like, come on, man.
That to get a game that marquee this late in the season, that's not it's not a divisional game.
That's a playoff game.
Yeah.
That's like an AFC Championship preview. You feel what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah. Wayne Miller is asking, are we finishing 15-2 or 14-3?
It better be 15-2.
Either or wins you the number one seed. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna win this Sunday, so it's just a matter of if our backups will beat the Giants. Then that's what it is. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. How many starters do you sit in that Giants game? Like who are you sitting?
That may be a backup game, bro.
No,
Yeah, it might be a preseason game.
That's what I'm
to
saying.
be honest.
But how many? Like how are you sitting?
If you
every
win
single
Sunday,
starter?
if you win Sunday, I'm not.
When we win Sunday, how many starters are you sitting? Week 18 versus like
as many as
every single one.
As many,
as many as I can.
Answer right in my mouth. As many as you can.
As many as I can.
Gotcha.
Mailata is definitely out. Obviously, Kelsey's out.
Well, Kelsey, you have to have him play the one snap to keep his streak going.
Yeah, Kelsey will play the one snap to keep his streak up.
Yeah, the whole line. Dallas Goedert, Miles Sanders.
I think Miles plays a little bit that game.
Yeah.
I'd sit him.
I play him a couple series, but AJ's not playing. Devontae's not playing.
Knowing Miles' injury history, it would be our luck. He plays
He gets hurt in a meaningless game.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think he plays a little bit of that game just to hit. Like, is he close to any benchmarks? Right. That's what you got to look at. Like any incentives, any benchmarks.
Right. That'd be interesting if he's close to
like for him to get 1,200 yards. Is that an extra $500,000? Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They don't have that on Spot Rack, do they? Like they don't have any content.
No, they don't have the incentives.
Yeah,
or anything.
I have no idea.
You just see the base literature or language of the contract. You don't see any like escalators or anything like that.
Yeah, they don't incorporate like touchdown bonuses or anything like that.
Like Pro Bowl.
And from a defensive line's perspective, anybody close to 10 sacks that hasn't gotten it yet.
Yeah.
Who
hasn't gotten it? So we have Sweat and Reddick, right? Has Hargrave gotten?
I'm not sure.
Yes.
Yeah, Hargrave's there.
Graham's
So-
the only one without 10 sacks.
And he has what? Does he have 9.5 or
Right.
8?
No, he has 9.
He has 9.
Yeah, so you can see Graham playing a little bit and then getting out of there. You know what I mean?
Graham may get the 10 sack this week.
Yep.
He might.
Yeah.
He might. Yeah.
It'll
Okay,
be
how
it'll
about
be
if
the
you-
only time in the NFL where 4 different players have 10+ sacks.
It's crazy.
What Sweat did in the last 8 games is just
Oh,
insane.
it's unbelievable.
You could tell that when he did the pick 6, you could tell when he's running. I remember my wife's like, "Why is he running like that?" It's because that knee is torn to shreds.
Right.
He's playing with one leg. He's doing this shit with one leg. If he never had that, oh my god.
Oh my
You
God.
never get, that's the whole point. It's like you would like he was that highly recruited
Yeah.
when he was at FSU. Like you never touch him. Like you don't even look at him in that first round if he never tears that.
Exactly.
Well, Chris Long said on his podcast, I think a couple weeks ago, he said if he didn't have that tragic leg injury in high school, he would have been a first-round pick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
You're talking about like elite pass rusher. Like
Yeah.
You got him in the 4th freaking round.
Which is crazy to me because I don't consider him an elite pass rusher. That's the crazy thing.
No,
Well, that's
no,
because
I hear
No,
you.
not now. I mean,
Yeah,
he's above average now, but we're talking like
He's above average, and then every year he's gotten better.
Yep.
But I don't.
Mhm.
I never.
he's really good. I wouldn't say above. I think he's really good. But I'd never put
But it took him 5 years to get here too, Chuck.
Well, because also
3 of the years were like recovering from injury.
when you're covering the injury too, but the way they played him at FSU, he had to really relearn everything. Like I remember they talked about this. The coaches had to reteach him all the technique from what he learned in college. So you're basically taking a player that's all traits and you're rebuilding him to the pro level. Like he had no counter moves off his pass rush in his arsenal at all. So like they really had to make sure that's why it took him a while because he wasn't as pro ready, and plus what Pete said, the injury. So when you have guys like Derek Barnett, they're more pro ready. They're going to be more consistent right off the gate. But Sweat was always on that upward trajectory because the farther you go along each season, the more healed he gets, the better, the more he learns, and that's why he fell because everyone knew he was going to be a project. But
He was good enough to play. That's what I say. Right.
Yeah.
You can talk about the injury you want, but he was good enough to play, and then he played for 4 years. I give you the first couple of years, but once he became that third rotationary guy about 2 years ago, I needed to see return on my receipt, and I'm just getting it. So that's why I've always been kind of down on him more than other people. Like we're just seeing what he can be, which is insane to me. But he still did something nobody has done in like 20 years since they've been here, and it's been
and
a
this
lot.
contract now is a value. Like it's undervalued.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of good pass rushers that's come through here that hasn't done what he's done. So hopefully he keeps it hot. But you saw my son give me a hug, so I gotta go do my prayers and all my push-ups and all that stuff for my youngin. So I'll get with you boys later. Make sure you guys check out Chuck's. I always support my guys, man. Check out Chuck's on YouTube, man. He's always dropping stuff on up. And I will see you guys tomorrow on the College Pod, Sunday for football. Me, Willie, in Vegas, giving out prayer pods. We hit on our DFS last Sunday too. So
nice.
I mean, make sure you guys tap in.
Absolutely. If you guys, any listeners, if you haven't checked out Nate and his shows, definitely check him out. Best in the business, and I don't say that lately. Really follow him. If you want to make money, go to Nate Money.
Yes, sir. Money Pop Podcast, man. I'll see you boys later. Happy New Year.
Nate.
Happy New Year, bro.
Happy New Year.
What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, Josh Sweat. But, yeah, I think that with Josh Sweat, that's where it was. It's always like that upward trajectory. You saw it. And I think that what Nate's talking about in terms of 2 years, you didn't see much of it is because, he was always inconsistent. But now we're seeing the consistency. We're seeing the consistency in his game. And so it took a few years to hit, but he's entered his prime. And, man, I just hope that his knee does hold up a little longer because, man, it's just him and Reddick make a really good duo.
I mean, he's consistently gotten better every year he's been in the league. So 0, 4, 6, 7.5, 11 this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely. I loved it. And Pete, me and you, we were the Josh Sweat. We were the only two Josh Sweat truthers on this radio station for years. When he was drafted, I remember we were at the old studio, the old studio. It was me, it was Chrome, it was like we were talking draft afterwards, and I was saying on that show, I was saying Josh Sweat has the potential to be the best pass rusher on this team in a couple of years. He has more potential than Derek Barnett.
And you were correct.
Correct. This took a couple of years. So I'm very happy to see him. Very happy to see him develop. Let's see. Someone had a question. Oh, Mr. Wing says Trey Sermon game against the Giants.
I was going to mention that. I think so.
Yo, if that is what it's going to be, I am absolutely going to be so invested in that game. What I pray will happen is that he goes absolutely off and earns a spot in the playoffs.
That'd be so funny.
Oh my god, I can't wait for it.
I would laugh so hard if he ends up becoming a big rotation guy for the Eagles in the future. Because once again, it's not that Howie the last few years has had a really good sense of drafting guys, because he has, and free agency, but he's snagged some freaking freebies, TJ Edwards,
undrafted, the really low value, and I think that's even when Howie was bad at drafting those couple years, it was day 3, the lower level guys.
He always did. He always
did well with lower level, undrafted, free agent, all those tiers of players. He would always get good value with those guys. So, at least you obviously want to hit on superstars early in the rounds, but that is something he has been consistent with. So yeah, I'll say it again. With Trey Sermon, it's not talent. It's two things. It's opportunity. Will he get the opportunity? And 2, will he be able to get out of or get his confidence back? Because he was coming out of school, out of Ohio State, into the draft. He was one of the highly touted running backs in that class. He's very confident. But his time in San Francisco, it probably shattered his confidence. It probably affected how he sees his game. And so will he be able to get that back up? So those are the 2 factors. If he gets his opportunity and he's able to gain confidence and make the most out of his opportunities, he is going to be a good back for us. I'm telling you, he has that talent. He's going to be a good rotational back. So I'm excited. I'm really hopeful that I kind of hope that they find a way to use him in the playoffs. I think it'd be very fresh legs, a power runner. You need that. And he's good at pass protection. You need that. You need that in the playoffs. So I hope he does, but we'll see. I'll be Mr. Ray. I'm glad you bring that up because I kind of hope that's what happens. Is he gets significant playing time against the Giants. Tom says it's no surprise that once they use Reddick better, that this entire line got hot over the last 6-8 weeks.
Oh, absolutely.
Reddick's been unbelievable too. Unbelievable.
Stop dropping him into freaking coverage, and you let him excel as a pass rusher. Things open up. What do you know?
I don't know why Dallas still has their starters in the game.
Because they're stupid.
There's linemen have to be helped every play. They already lost one lineman tonight who had to get carted off.
Who? Yeah. I didn't see that.
Their center.
The rookie, Yadish?
Yeah, their center.
Wow, he got carted off?
Yeah. Carted off. He got rolled up on pretty bad, yeah.
That's huge.
But he is on the sideline now in street clothes.
Oh. Well, in street clothes?
In street clothes, yeah.
Yeah, so.
I don't know. We'll see. We will see about that. All right, Jeff, anything else NFL-wise?
Real quick, and I know the guys on A2D Wednesday night were talking about it, but just obviously your opinion. None of us are doctors, but the Tua situation, what do you do? You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm not telling him to retire. He's his own man. He can do what he wants, but I mean, the guy's made his money. Right now, he's sitting on $25 million. He's a first-round pick. but at the same time, like it gets bigger than football after a while.
They
We've
wrecked
had
that
three
right.
really
That's a
we've had-
short amount of time to have that many concussions.
and
Just
all
want
in
to throw
1
it
year.
out there. JJ Watt had like 3 sacks 2 weeks ago, and he's just like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah.
That should tell you all you need to know. He had 3. It wasn't like he was bad or anything. He had 3 sacks 2 games ago, and he's like, "No, I'm it. That's it. I want to be able to pick up my kids when I'm 34. I'm good."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like with the Tua situation, it's just really him sitting down with his wife because he is married. He does have his family, and just saying like, "Look, like,
You got to
what can
think
I
about
do?"
it. Right.
You know what I mean? So,
So it's. I agree with you, Jake. It's ultimately okay from a team's perspective. You do what you've been doing.
Mhm.
You gotta make sure he clears all the concussion protocols. You gotta make sure he's healthy enough to play,
Mhm.
and he's from a team perspective. That's all you can do.
But those are also
Whether he retires, that's on Tua. Like
Right.
I get that people like fans and people on social media, they want to see him. They want to do. They want to see him do what's best for him as a person, because you don't want
Right.
to see someone. You don't want to. This is an obvious statement, but like it is what it is. You don't want to see someone die out there from a head injury. You just don't.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
you don't want to see that. So I understand that people are just looking out for Tua, but at the same time, you can't force someone to retire if
Right.
that's not what is their decision. Like you get
Mhm.
like it's kind of like it's a different but similar to why like I never understood why people are so eager to tell Jason Peters to retire. Like let the man play for us. What he wants to play as a backup left tackle.
He's
Let
not
him
good,
freaking play. Like he wants to still play. Like you can't tell people. It's hard because we're not out there. Like
But here's the thing, like
it's hard enough for people. It's hard enough for players after NFL careers to adjust to life outside of that.
Sure.
We always
Absolutely.
hear that in retirement, like players, they don't know what to do, so they sometimes lose themselves, and they get into depression, and it's that life that they don't want to get into because football is all they know. So like I will never beat someone or a type of fan and say, "Hey, you need to retire." Like that's not my. To me, that's not my right. It's disrespectful. So I will not tell Tua or I will not say like Tua needs to retire. Do I?
Right.
It's a different conversation when I'm saying like, is there a possibility he retires? That's a different question. I think there is a possibility, but I would not tell him, or I would not say that Tua needs to.
Right. Of course not.
That's Tua, and he does need to. I think, and I'm sure he is doing this. He's with his family, he's with his friends and people that care about him, and he's going to contemplate and think about it. But whatever he decides to do, I respect, because if he wants to play football, who are we to tell him not to play football? So that's where I'm at with it. From a team's perspective, you just do what you keep doing and watch out for him, and you don't let him play until he's medically cleared and healthy enough to play. That's all you can do. And
Yeah,
I know that Tom, I would force him to do what's right for Tua, but knowing CTE, it's probably smart to get out.
yeah. I mean, Andrew Luck may have already went. He may never got a call from Andrew Luck, in my opinion. Who was the other kid? The kid, the linebacker from Ohio State that
Oh my God! What the heck is his name?
And to retire after he led the league in tackles.
Oh,
yeah.
Wasn't his last name start with a B?
Navarro Bowman?
No.
White kid.
I'll look it up. He was so good.
Oh, what the hell was his name?
He was right after Patrick Willis.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, what the heck
Chris
was his
Borland.
name?
Chris Borland?
Chris Borland.
Okay.
Yeah. He retired. Remember, Luke Kuechly retired because of it.
Yeah.
So it's like it's one of those things where it's just like it's not so much the number of concussions, it's the short amount of time. If you go back to the first one he had that first week, it's been 3 in like the last 2 months. Really?
Yeah, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Like it's one thing if you had them like within a few year period. 3 concussions in a year is a lot. 3 concussions in 3 months is like unheard heard of.
And your brain
Also,
can't
let's
heal.
stop with the whole, oh, we know they have those tests. Those tests are BS, okay? I've listened to so many Malcolm Jenkins interviews and talk about how he would go out of his way to maneuver it so he could pass concussion tests. I don't need that BS. The NFL,
they altered it though this year. I think I'm not saying it's like now it's good. I'm just saying it is a bit. But I hear what you're saying. I did hear the same thing.
Obviously, you can't tell them what to do. But as an organization, you should be able to whether or not your guy is healthy. You can have a doctor be like, oh yeah, he's fine. But as an organization and an ownership group, you can be able to look at your guy and just know he's not right. He's not right. Yeah, and for you to throw him out there like they did early in the year, I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what test he passed. I don't care what doctors said that they fired. The fact that they threw him out there after everything that he did, they don't care.
Yeah,
you can say what you want about Philadelphia. We're this, we're that, we're mean, batteries, snowball, Santa, whatever. That would never happen under Jeffrey Lurie, ever.
No.
Yeah, that's where with the team you have to factor in everything. You can't just go to your the team doctors. You have to get outside advice. You have to
always get a second opinion. Absolutely.
WWE doctors.
You have to have a discussion with Tua. You can't tell Tua what to do, but you have to. If you're a team and you see a lot of concerns, and what Tom is saying, has been saying here is true. Because of concussion, you're allowed to say he should retire, protect players from themselves. Doesn't mean he should take everyone's advice, but doctors and himself. And
for sure.
That's absolutely true. And that's where you hope you can advise Tua and give him all the information he needs to make a decision. If you honestly think he's at risk, tell him. Be like, Tua,
right?
You're this isn't good.
Go get an MRI of your brain now in the current condition.
Right, exactly. So question, obviously this is worst case scenario, right? Let's say he gets another concussion and that's it for him. He's done.
Right.
What do they do as an organization? Because you've already given up 5 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks for the 2 receivers that they got in Hill and Waddle. And not only the fact that they drafted Tua and passed on Justin Herbert. Where do you go as an organization?
For them, I think it's easy, Pete, because you're a prime attractive position.
Right.
You go get Lamar Jackson.
You can go get Lamar. You can get a stopgap and go get Jimmy G. You can go get Derek Carr. You can go get Brady.
Jimmy G makes a ton of sense.
Brady can opt out. So they have options, and they're in an advantageous location. It's Miami, 1.
Yeah.
2, the team is pretty stacked.
You're making a watch. Oh, Tom, I love you.
3, a decent head coach from what we've seen so far. Here's 4, the biggest thing, no state income tax.
Yep.
That's so. Well, and the other big one, Pete, the weather. You can't beat the weather. You can't beat the weather. Can't beat the weather down there.
Tom Brady.
I don't think Baker's getting out of LA. I think Stafford.
If I'm a Miami fan, I wouldn't want him there.
I think Stafford's going to retire. I think Stafford's done.
Yeah, that's exactly. And that's what I said a few weeks ago. I said that's the real reason Baker Mayfield's there.
Derek Carr.
Yeah, I mean, I like Carr in San Fran. I like Carr in Miami. I like Carr in New Orleans.
I've always liked Derek Carr. That's me. I've always liked him.
That where Carr goes, Avonte most likely will go too. Or
no, I don't think. No, not necessarily. But
no, because if Vegas gets Brady, Avonte's staying in Vegas.
I don't know. I feel like Avonte is going to force his way out because I think after the way,
not with that contract.
After the Eagles traded away Carson Wentz, I don't think I will not put anything.
Yeah, no trades off the table.
It's just a cap.
I was so dead wrong about that. I guaranteed that Wentz wouldn't get traded, and then all of a sudden there was a way to do it, and I'm like, I don't.
Not
understand.
every team is
I
willing
don't
to take that
understand.
hit.
But that's
That's
the thing.
the
I think
thing,
that was
though.
more team driven. Devontae's stats this year aren't bad. Like he had a decent year. It's just I don't like what concerns me about Las Vegas is I don't know what identity they want. I don't know what type of team they want to be, and this is through 15 games.
Well, they
I mean,
can't
and then-
fire. They can't fire McDaniels because they don't have money.
Right. But if you can
The only
get
reason
Brady,
he's there.
but if you can get Brady, like that's what you can sell your ownership on. You see what I'm saying?
Possibly.
You can sell your
Yeah.
ownership on the fact that listen, let's let Derek go. I think is he a free agent this year or no?
I think so.
I think
If he's a free agent, you walk away. If it's not, then you could trade him. But
Yeah.
you bring in Brady, Vegas. You know what I mean? Josh McDaniels. They rekindle that stopgap to somebody else for a couple years. You already have Avonte. You're
He's on a
not
1
bringing
year.
back Josh Jacobs, right? So
He's on a 1 year.
1 year. So yeah, you can trade him. You get assets back.
Yeah, you get
Yeah, he has a potential
And-
out
and
in
hey,
2023.
Hey, they have what Brady loves, a white safety slot receiver.
Yeah.
They have Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah.
That's his favorite.
And they got Darren Waller as a
That's his
tight end.
favorite.
Am I lying? Isn't that
No, you're not. You're not.
that's like his
Small
favorite.
white receiver.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Pete. Now that you mention it, I think that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
If there was a prop bet on that, I think might put money on that.
For
I mean, there's a lot of different things because now you like where does Sean Payton go? Does Sean Payton bring him and his team, him and his squad, everything to Denver? You see what I'm saying?
That'd be
Try to rekindle that magic with Russell Wilson. They already have a decent offense. It's just need the offensive system to be in place. You bring him in to stabilize everything. The Waltmans can afford it. That family there that owns Walmart, they could afford it. So paying two coaches. I mean, it's so many different things. Who does Shanahan go after this year? Does he go after Derek Carr? Does he go after Brady? That was another big one too. Does Aaron Rodgers? You talking about somebody wanting to force their way out? Does Aaron Rodgers say, "Okay, I'm done. Like this, I want to go. Let me go. Trade me. Do whatever. Buy me out. Whatever you need to do."
Or do shrooms in the rainforest.
You see what I'm saying? And then also, Jake said it earlier when we were first talking about the Miami position. Lamar Jackson. Could be the biggest shoe to fall. We thought last offseason was big for quarterback movement. This season could be just as much. And 2023 offseason could be like 2022, hold my fucking beer. You feel what I'm saying?
I mean, that was bad. That was pretty bad, man. That was like the wildest offseason I've ever seen in sports.
But not even just – we're just talking about current players. We're not talking about Will Levis. We're not talking about C.J. Stroud. We're not talking about Bryce Young. We're not talking about the incumbent rookie class. We're talking about established players. Derek Carr is not that bad. I don't know what the hell. It's like, but it's the Raiders doing this tells you they have something else up their sleeve. They already have a plan in place.
I don't find them to be a smart enough organization to think anything with them.
Josh McDaniel has 7 rings. He's not fucking stupid.
Yes, no. He is very stupid.
I mean, he got Tim Tebow playoff wins. Can't be that fucking.
Josh McDaniels is like, I think he's a great offensive coordinator. I think that he's shown.
He's the offensive Matt Patricia. Let's just be honest.
He's I don't know if he has what it takes to be a head coach. Right now, it shows that he doesn't. But he's a really good offensive mind. So if you get him, I don't know, like if you get him to somehow tune into that and get a coaching staff, surrounding coaching staff to help mitigate what he lacks as a head coach, I don't know. Maybe you can salvage it, but like, I don't want to say Josh McDaniels is stupid. Like
he's smart.
He leaves New England. They don't know what to do on offense. They don't know what to do on offense.
They got a defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia, calling offense.
I was just gonna say.
I mean, that's not so much a McDaniels thing. That's just on the Patriots being stupid as hell.
Yeah.
Well, they being stupid as hell because they panicked. They don't know what to do when McDaniels left because That's
I mean,
significant.
they could have hired an
you
offensive
can't-
line and not a
you can't-
defensive guy.
When Josh McDaniels was in New England, you can't look at that offense and the designs and everything like that and say it was bad play calling and bad the offensive designs. That was all Josh McDaniels. So
I mean, was
what-
it all
what-
Josh
what-
McDaniels or was it
but
the
that's-
greatest quarterback of all time?
It was both.
it was
Yeah, both.
both because
You're really
Tom Brady-
seeing that New England's
after-
success was a marriage of everything all together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
when Tom Brady left, the offensive play designs were still really good. They just Cam Newton shit the bed, and they didn't have much else after behind them. But Josh McDaniels, you rave about Mac Jones. Why was Mac Jones good?
Where do I rave about? I just said he was good.
You raved about Mac Jones. Why was
He
Mac
was
Jones
good
a
last
rookie
year. He
running-
played really well.
And who was the offensive coordinator? Genius.
Someone who actually knows how to call
I
offensive
rest my
plays
case.
and not a
I
defensive
think he's
coordinator.
agreeing with you. You guys are in agreement. You just holler at each other so you can't hear what the other
I'm
one is
not
saying.
hollering. He's just getting mad and having a tizzy up there.
I'm making sure you know that you're not making sense. You're saying that
Dude,
Here
you're
we
trying to
go.
Italian.
Here it is.
Italian.
you're
Stop it.
saying you're saying that Josh
You're
McDaniels
talking with your fingers like you're going to tell me I'm lying.
I'm literally telling you that you raved about Mac Jones. Who was his offensive coordinator when he was good?
An actual offensive coordinator.
Josh McDaniels. So therefore, Josh McDaniels is not dumb. That's what
He's dumb. I'm sorry. You can be good and stupid at the same time.
Apparently, 1 + 1 does not equal 2. All right.
You could be good and stupid at the same
and you
time.
can still be a moron.
Hey, listen, I'm saying it's been
God.
some smart football players. They dumb as shit in real life.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying.
It's perfect. It's exactly it. You can be a genius, but a dumb as dirt on that football field.
Philly Insider Podcast. Oh, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. How are you?
funny.
Josh McDaniels is an incredibly smart head coach, but the reason things fell apart in Denver because his players couldn't stand him. They said they were never more prepared, but also never less motivated. And then he
What
also
does
said
that say about him as a coach?
he's an OC. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's a bad head coach, but he's a very smart offensive coordinator.
Cool. Maybe he's a smart offensive coordinator, but he's a dumb when it comes to being a coach.
That's what I said.
When you two banter like this, somebody has to know when just to, okay, it's not worth it. And I'm looking at Chuck's like, all right, Chuck's just like, listen, this just let him go. Just let him be. Just don't reply.
He can't help it. Like, I live in his head.
You
Like,
know,
he wakes up in the middle of the night just having like fucking
I call
bunch
you
of
once a
anger
week.
sweats, man.
And you're the reason I have a headache after this show is because I can't stand the nonsense of 1 + 1 does not equal 2. Like,
Once again, I am
crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I have to take.
Chuck's villain story. I am his origin story.
Common sense.
I am
math.
Joe. I
Common
am
sense
Chuck's
math doesn't exist
so
in
cool in
sense
Crime
math.
Alley, man. I rip those girls every time.
When it comes to Pete Young, out the freaking
Like, I know
Common
Chuck
sense
sometimes
is
has his instance to have the last word, but I'm like,
Chuck,
all right.
You ever dance with the
know
devil
Pete
until
won't let you
moonlight?
have it. You know Pete won't let you have it, and it is
Never.
It's 10 minutes each.
I don't-
Every
no,
show,
no, I
every week is 10 to 15
I
minutes.
don't need the last word when it comes to Mr. Pete because
Stop lying.
him having the
You're
last
just
word
lying to
is
yourself.
bad. His last
Whatever you
word
need
is
to tell
something-
yourself at night, sweetheart.
Yeah. But I love you. Though. I love you. This is
Through
why
all that, you guys actually said the same fucking thing. That's the most.
Language.
Like you were both agreeing on the
There's
same
one F word.
and you're still arguing about.
yelling at him for
You
not
ever heard somebody
I didn't
argue
do
with
anything.
Jake?
He's just
Like,
being
that's the funniest
mean
thing
to
in the
me.
world.
I'm like, wait. Chuck's and Peter Chuck's and Peter saying the same thing. Why are they arguing?
Being abused over here.
because
What is
he
going
doesn't
on?
understand. Because he doesn't understand. He doesn't comprehend. 1 + 1 does not equal 2 to him.
As a teacher, I can educate whether or not 1 + 1 equals 2.
Who are you teaching?
I'm teaching people how to buy nice, cheap, affordable vehicles over at CW Clark Auto.
Oh, you're not at Toyota Runnymede anymore.
Oh no, screw them. It's a month and a half, and they still haven't paid me.
So CW Clark Art, do you have to cross the 130 to get to the other
Yes,
side?
I do. I have to. So we have 2 locations. I have to jump the intersection to get to the dealership. Every day is like a game of Frogger.
Oh,
Nano.
Time to see if I'll die today.
Yes, it's 100% what I feel like. I'm just like, oh my god, if I get run over and this is how I die, I swear to God.
Where did this come from? Pete's cousin is syndrome?
What does that even mean?
I see it. I actually
do see it.
So, who is Syndrome?
Who is Syndrome?
Is that the guy? Are you talking about the dude from
Hold on. Oh,
First villain from
I'm
Incredibles.
actually crying. Oh, hold on.
Oh my god.
Fuck.
Pete is really Syndrome. He really came up to Chuck's when he was little, asked for his autograph,
Oh my god.
and Mr.
And they got
Incredible
mad.
Chuck's did not live up to his expectations.
And then he got mad.
You were his motivation. He had a picture of you hanging on his wall. It's a one
Meet Your
day.
Heroes, kids?
One day.
Never meet your heroes.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's who
Meet
it's the
Your
dude from The Incredibles. I'm just like,
It took you that long?
I don't ever really pay attention to the dude's name. I just know who he is.
I always said he was Sam Darnold.
My name is not Earl.
Oh shit! The chin on that bitch, God dang. That bitch is going around chin button people, bitch. What
Hold on,
you say?
I have
Motherfucker.
I have to move Pete up here. Oh my lord.
I can't.
Oh shit!
Oh,
Oh my god.
good lord.
Oh my
Oh
goodness!
my god. Oh my
Wow.
god. Oh, anyways.
Chuck's just gonna dream about me in spandex tonight. Is what's gonna happen.
See Pete is walking around. Where is my wrong character?
Where is my super suit? Greater good. I'm the greatest good you ever gonna do.
I can't.
And the animation, Mrs. Incredible has some yams
Off
too.
the
Boy,
rails.
God dang.
So speaking of Incredibles, our fourth quarter is brought to you by Alonso Travel.
Oh, we're still doing a show. Sorry.
Specializing in creating the vacation of your dreams at Disney, Universal, or wherever your heart calls you. Let their talented team of travel experts create a custom vacation for you, even if you want to meet your hero.
Lock it up.
Oh no.
All right, fellas.
Where are you going? Where are you going with this?
Oh
You
shoot!
guys play Madden.
His next guy, he said
No,
he needs to
I
change
hate
to beat the
Madden.
Eagles.
I
No.
hate Madden.
Yeah, I haven't played
We
it
only
in
play
forever.
2K3 around here.
3K5. 3K5. But yeah, 2K. I can't. Why didn't 2K come out with their game yet? Like, what the
It's
hell?
coming. It's coming out. That's all that matters. Okay.
I hope so. I hope. And then me and you can play that all day.
Oh, I love that. I
To be a
love.
fly on the wall in that conversation while y'all playing.
Yeah.
We need to be
Just
live on Twitch or something.
It's
like
literally just. It's literally just like F word, F word, F word, F word, F word.
that. Be like, what
On
are
Twitch,
you
that's fine.
calling? What are you calling Josh McDaniels?
It's calling he calling a 4-6 deep zone on a goal line.
No.
Why
Four
can't I
verticals
stop the
every
run?
play.
Bitch,
4 verticals every play.
We all play sticks
bitch
defense.
running go routes.
Sticks
Yeah, right.
Sticks defense all day. I got
I'm,
you.
I'm actually gonna just I'm gonna pitch it every time.
Playing defense like what is your gamer tag? My gamer tag is Jonathan Gannon Jr. Bitch.
Oh, that would be a great gamer tag for 2K.
Very long.
I know I told you guys last week that I was excited to watch Alice in Borderland season 2.
Mhm.
We finished it the other night. Oh my god, it's so good. So I just want to get that out there. Like, I'm so mad that I don't know a lot of people that are into that show because I need to discuss. But if you're listening If you need a Netflix show to watch, I'm telling you to watch Alice in Borderland. My friend hit me up the other day. Actually, he was like, "It's like, yo, I'm so glad you mentioned that show because I started it and now I'm hooked." So like, he's into season 2 now.
Watch
So
Warrior. No, it's really good.
Go start it.
I just started Hunter x Hunter. So 12-year-old kids ripping out dudes' hearts, and I was like, okay, this is for me.
That sounds fun.
So
What's you?
Yeah, we'll see. Real quick before we go, lost a legend today. Pele passed away.
Oh yeah.
Arguably the greatest soccer player of all time. I think Messi has that now since he finally won one, but I will say Pele is probably the most influential or the most important soccer player in history.
Over Nigel Ruff? I don't think so.
So, over who?
The leg.
The leg. Nigel the leg.
I'm not even,
He's wiry.
okay. I'm not even going to see. I'm not going to do what Chucks does. See, Chucks is a new father. I'm a vet in this game. I'm not going to entertain that.
See, that's why I love Pete because he won't fall for my shenanigans. Chucks, I get him hook, line, and Chucks reminds me.
I love to talk and I love to debate. So I mean,
he does love to talk.
As my therapist used to say, all you gotta do is pull that slot, and it's a jackpot every time. That's me and Chucks every time. I pull it, and I get a jackpot every time.
It's funny because people think that like I get annoyed. I have fun. I literally have fun.
No, you get annoyed. No, don't lie to America. Just lying to yourself there.
Okay.
There's like a little vein in like the back of your neck. You're the
first person that I debate nonstop with. Go talk to Tom and then come back and see what you like. Tom and I have had some awesome debates in the past. Like Tom and I, when we get
like, does he give you gray hair? I don't think so.
Tom, my debates with Tom have been 10 times better than yours because at least he makes sense. So.
Wow. Yes, but there's saying that the back of your neck is not popping like it does with me. I'm sorry. I know you just wake up and just like, Pete was probably wrong about this.
I mean, listen, I will say in our chat, there is an occasional midday Wednesday where all of a sudden we'll get an at Pete Young. And it's just like, I don't know what it is. You get this at Pete Young ... And then we're off to the races.
It's too easy sometimes with Pete because
I take so much abuse.
It's way too easy to call him out. So.
Simple Jack, hell no. Why can't we have any good-looking white people in my country? We're going with Cousin Skeeter. That's a cool cousin to have.
I don't know who Simple Jack is. Let me look this up.
Did you never watch Tropic Thunder?
He's Ben Stiller's mentally challenged character he plays in the movie, where Robert Downey's like, that's why you didn't win anything. You went full mental patient instead of half.
Oh my god, so good. Wow, everything else we've only been watching Alice in Borderlands. I don't know.
Watch National Treasure.
Pete,
that is pretty good. I know that's.
We just started National Treasure. You're talking about the series on?
Yes, it's really good.
We just started it. Okay, good. Like the first 30 minutes of episode 1 was a little hard because like the dialogue
of National Treasure.
Yeah,
it does get
a little corny, but like it's like the back half of the episode is starting to get really good. So yeah, I'm excited for that. There was one thing. Oh yeah, Pete, I'm almost done Peripheral. Yeah. Pod, yes, Pod. Thank you. You watch it too. Thank you.
Listen, Todd is
Todd's into everything.
With Todd on some things, and then Todd that bitch go way left. I mean, he's still living in Germany, so I think if I'm not mistaken, is that correct? Like he has to watch the Eagles games at like 3:00 in the morning. So that's dedication. So
I don't love us no more.
I mean, I don't know. I think he loves Jake. He does, certainly based on what his comments were. He does not have any affection for you, my good friend PY.
That hurts. I thought me and Ty were buddies.
No, I did not watch Hellbound. on Netflix, but it's on my list.
What is that about?
I don't know. I haven't. I saw the thing. It looked cool. I was like, all right, add them onto my list.
I know they did the Witcher Blood of Origin or
Blood
whatever.
Origins, yeah, I added that to my list too.
Now, what do you think about Peripheral?
So far, I really like it. I think the only thing that I wish there was more of is I wish there was more action. I expected more action sequences.
So what episode did you just watch? Did you get to the urgent care episode yet?
Urgent care. I think I'm in episode 7.
You passed the urgent care then one, right? Where forget his name. But he kills the wife and then kidnaps the dude and the mom at the urgent care.
Murder.
Where the cop, Tommy, his fiance's there, whatever, and they all sync up and they make the dead dude bodies jump just so they can get a read on where the killer's at.
Nope, I didn't watch that. Thanks for spoiling.
I just for one, that's like so you're not even there. You probably fell asleep. Does Mary watch it with you? Because I need to check with Mary.
No, I watched it at work. I didn't fall asleep or anything.
Oh, you probably got a customer at the time.
No, I put it on pause. I don't watch it.
You got to rewatch it. When you say action, from there it starts to pick up.
Okay, good. Because the last scene I watched was when in the future, it's when all three of them first go into their bodies in the future. Was it the brother?
And they went up and they did all
they meet the police, the police commissioner, the inspector. Yeah, that's the last thing I watched.
So that was towards the end of that episode, right?
It broke off from the end of the one episode into the next episode.
All right, so this next one after that, when they all still there and they're at the shooting range, bitch, you think you watching John Wick, bitch?
Oh, okay, good. All right, good, very good. Because I'm like, all right, it's getting close to the end of the season, and there still hasn't been enough action. Like, I want more. So
it makes you think. It makes you think a lot about.
Yes, yeah. Tom, how hard was hard to get through though? Okay. Nate Rosario says Eagles versus Cowboys NFC Championship game or division. Nickelodeon's game slime time. Oh yeah, the Nickelodeon broadcast. I know they did that.
Yeah.
Todd says, Pete, you're my buddy. That buddy you sacrificed to get away.
Chucks, I'm not the one dying in a horror movie.
I ain't, bitch, because you ain't gonna get me. I heard that noise. Put my ass down.
Yeah. Pete, do you remember the one episode we talked about this?
I'm the one person who ain't dying in a horror movie. I've seen 6 billion of those suckers. I know exactly what to do. I'm like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. Oh, they do drugs. I'm going the exact opposite way. Oh, he's funny. Goodbye.
Yeah, we splitting up now. Fuck all that.
Oh, trust me. If there was a person on God's green earth who would be able to survive a horror movie, I'm good. I got this.
But you gonna have to come get me, bitch, in the police station with all the lights on, bitch.
Yeah, right. Like I got like the whole checklist and everything.
I am out. I don't know if Jake, you remember that episode, but we went on like
it was a while ago. I remember it.
Yeah, I left my wife to fend for herself on a hike. Because of the snake. So that goes to show you.
He climbed Mount Everest in like 15 seconds, bitch.
You ever see that commercial where it's all the teenagers and they're like, oh my God, let's get in the running car. They're like, no, let's hide behind the chainsaws. I'm just like, that is not me. Nope.
Yeah, no.
Running car, let's go.
Out.
Yeah. We wouldn't even be at that point. We'd be out. Like
that's yes. But like I watched the movies with the sharks and shit, bitch. The shark gonna have to come through the shower head, bitch. You would have to jump in the pool
people, or something. Man. Like they get you killed in horror movies, man.
Yeah, they do.
Man, let's go in the woods and smoke weed.
Good show. We lasted a long time. So any plans for New Year's Eve or
celebrating the Eagles victory? New Year's Eve, I have no idea yet.
I'm actually off on
sure the young guns on the bottom here probably gonna party somewhere.
No.
I'm going to like a friend's house. That's really it.
Basically, I'm going to a buddy's house who supplies food and drink, and I'm just gonna sit on the couch and do what I do every party: watch Clone High.
Fair enough.
What do you say? You what?
So my one buddy who comes to my other friend's house, we always end up watching Clone High.
Clone High.
Clone High is this ridiculous animated TV show from like the early 2000s that's coming back, where it's all these famous people who are like they're clones of like famous people like Abraham Lincoln, JFK. It's the funniest show I've ever seen in my life.
Gotcha. Well, it's probably more than what we most likely will be staying home because of the little one. But hey, I don't mind. The last time I went out for New Year's Eve I lied. I did go out like a couple years ago to my cousin had a New Year's Eve party. That was the year Mary was pregnant. That was the last time we went out. But yeah, so a couple years
You said that night she ended up pregnant. Is that what you said?
No. That was when we knew. That was when we knew she was pregnant. Like we found out a week beforehand, and so like we went out to that party the week after, and like we still had to keep it hush hush. And so like we were trying to think in the car, like, all right, if they give you alcohol, how are we gonna get around this? Like, how are we gonna make an excuse?
Only top shelf.
Yeah. So.
Only top shelf.
Only top
Jesus.
We had at our wedding it was only top shelf, so
that's the way to go.
I didn't know you then yet, sir.
I know, yeah, you would have been.
I invited 15 years or older. I'm good.
I invited a bunch of ADD guys, but they declined. But yeah, we didn't know each other until shortly after. So, anyways, New Year's wrapping up 2022. To everyone through this new year to 2022, thank you so much for your support of our show. Thank you for giving us a year that was definitely memorable once again, and we look forward to again another great year with A2D with us Birds of a Feather. I know it's going to be a ton of fun. I think this year being able to join shows was one of the best moves that we've made, because I think this show has gotten 10 times better with you two and with Nate on it. It's we are glad. I know P and I were so glad to have you guys on the show. Conversations are great, and even like our banter. I know Pete, me and you go at it, but honestly, I would do that every single week with you because it's just so much fun. Because I love you both. Nate, I love you, Nate. Thank you for being on with us. And then Mr. Pete Evans, OG, thank you for sticking with me on the show for all these years. Another great year with me and you, and it's going to get even better as we go along and continue. So I appreciate everything you guys have done for all the fans, all supporters of A2D. Appreciate greatly what you guys do for us at this station, supporting us, listening to shows. If watching the content I put out, I honestly appreciate that, and all the other support for the Nate money that you guys give, watching his bets, for everyone else, all the videos and content that we put out. It doesn't go unnoticed and unappreciated. I want to say that. So we wouldn't be here without you guys. So we love you. We hope you have a safe and a fun New Year's, and we hope you have an even better time watching the Eagles whip that ass on the New Orleans Saints.
Shout for the pause.
Who dat? For our sponsors, thank you so much, especially the show sponsor, Baggio's Bread. Make sure you remember get that 10% off by mentioning A2D. So for myself, Mr. OGP Evans, Jake, Pete Young, any of you guys got any last words for the 2022 year?
Man,
Happy New Year and go Birds.
Go Birds.
Happy New Year, all. 2022 was a trying year for me personally, for the fam, but got through it. Helping you guys, rocking with the four brothers here. And now we got 5. Yeah, 4, man. 2023. Can't wait. Don, now you want to scoop in all late.
Yeah, man.
But people still suck in 2022, bitch.
Got off work.
He hit after laying that egg.
Oh, shit.
Oh, there it is.
Dang.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry, Don. Now you just came in supporting, and now you getting shots fired at you.
I know.
Yeah, just like during that game, shots fired all game long.
That Detroit Lion defense, that run defense was putrid.
Swiss cheese, boys.
Yeah.
Swiss cheese.
All right, fellas. Enjoy the game. Happy New Year. Go Birds. Peace out.